Morning, Soldier Boy here, and welcome back to RoadCraft and RoadCraft's. Welcome back to RoadCraft and RoadCraft's. I can't say my words. Welcome back to RoadCraft and RoadCraft's Rebuild DLC as we continue on where we left off in Thursday morning stream last week. This is live stream number 61, I think it is. Yeah, 61. And we're live for 3.5 hours as we continue on from last time. I don't know why I can't talk this morning. It's not working. But I hope everyone's well. Hope your week's going on. Massive thank you to those that joined us yesterday for our first stream of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Hyper realistic. Definitely a change to what we've done previously. But looking forward to see what else comes. But today we are back in RoadCraft. We've been doing RoadCraft for quite a while now. Completing all the base game DLC maps as well. I'm on the final DLC map, which is Washout. We're making good progress. Lots of roads need building for the infrastructure, though, which obviously slows us down a little bit. But all in all, I think it's going pretty well. We'll have a quick look at what we did in the last stream in a second. There we go. So we finished a long road through the mountain and swamp in the last stream. We drove the Wayfarer to the power substation, which got it back up and running. We transported materials up the mountain to fix the communications relay. We got a brand new base up and running while laying power cables to different locations. And we finished the stream as we prepared another area for another road. Lots of roads. I think that's the big thing of this map. Because Washout says, you know, mud, swamps, places have been washed out essentially. Roads are definitely the go-to because you need to be able to navigate different places. So we could have expected a lot of roads, to be fair, based on that. But yeah, so today I think we continue on the road we left off in the last stream. I can't quite remember exactly where the road was heading towards, to be fair. But we'll check it out in a second. We'll know where we're going. And then we'll see where we can go. As I say, final DLC map as part of the Rebuild DLC. We know there is new content, new DLC, new maps coming in March. I'm not sure of the date yet. We've already said as well, we're probably going to look at DLC maps once we finish the base game and the DLC. Look at modded maps, sorry, once we finish the base game and DLC. So, still lots more to do in RoadCraft. Really enjoying it. And obviously a massive change of pace from yesterday's Kingdom Come Deliverance. But yeah, there we go. That's where we're up to today. I just need to see my little words. We've got a storm hitting the UK today. It's been overnight. Tonight was horrendous. Loud rain, wind. It's been really bad. I was concerned that we won't have any power this morning with how bad the wind was, but it's going to be fine. Where is he? I can track my boy because of his watch. It's just so he can make sure he gets to school and stuff. Seems to be okay. He'll text in a bit, I'm sure. Right, let's load in and let's have a look. It says we're 92.9 hours in. I'm pretty sure it's more than that, to be fair. I'm nearly 100% sure it's more than that in terms of time. It's basically 3.5 hours times 60, which would give us what? 3.5 times 60. 210 hours. So that's definitely wrong. We're at 210 hours roughly in, I think. We are on the final DLC map. We've got 9 of 24 infrastructure requests complete, 14 of 32 main objectives, 8 of 11 side objectives, and you can see we're on the second part of the 3-part story to this area, this map. And we're kind of, the only bit missing on the map really is the top left-hand side, the northwest corner. We haven't really explored very much there, but then nothing's really sent us that way, to be fair. Let's have a look and plan what we're doing today. As I say, I think we've started prepping a new road that was needed in the last stream. So we'll crack on with that, I think. I've got a new message. I just checked where he was. I didn't think he was there yet. He's at school. So yesterday we had a phone call right at the start of the stream with the potential date for surgery for the spinal implant, and it didn't affect yesterday's stream. I kind of put it out of my head as we focused on what we were doing. It's having some issues. There we go. What I want to quickly do is unstrap. Yeah. Something was going wrong there, wasn't it? So let's have a look at what we're doing. So objective wise, we've got repair the sawmill, which means it wants us to build this road along here to repair the sawmill. And I think what we were doing in the last stream was actually we just cut down all the trees here, so we could actually put a road down where it wants us to. But we're also going to extend this road through the sawmill to this road here. I think while we're already here, it makes sense to do that. And that enables us to cut through here a lot better. This road itself isn't too bad, so we don't need to worry about this road as such. We were saying though we need to do something here. So on the way to put sand in this route, what we'll do is we'll also put sand here. Whether or not we'll actually put road there, I'm not sure yet. But I think possibly just sand for the time being, if we have to tarmac it. Or we could tarmac it when we take the asphalter up there, to be fair. It'll go the same way, doesn't it? So that's the main objective. The second main objective we have is we've got to use the backup pump station to drain the swamps. We need to bring 8 steel beams to here, and we need to put power here as well. Now the only obvious issue here is steel beams we can get there. We don't know how deep this is, this water. So obviously we need to think about how we're going to connect that. Once the swamp is drained, we may not need a bridge or anything, but we may need one. May need a road still, because obviously it'll be swampy. There is a potential to maybe link something here, but we don't know how deep this bit is. That's going to be the concern. I don't know if a bridge will reach either, to be fair. But that's the other main mission we have, and then we have no side missions currently on the go. Lots of infrastructure stuff, but we try and do that as the mission says, unless it's doing something else. So we're building the road. We cleared the trees. Next we need sand. So we have a sand quarry here that covers everything. The only thing it doesn't cover is this here. So we are going to lay sand here to make sure we can get through the water, because some vehicles were starting to drown there. So I think we should put sand there at the very least. We just got to work out. We might have to go forward to come back essentially there. Maybe. The rest of it will be absolutely fine. And we'll get the AI to lay the sand along here, and then we will extend it afterwards, essentially, is my thinking. In terms of vehicles, our current vehicles are all over the place for doing different jobs. Now, our sand vehicles, or our dumpers, essentially, we've got the tracked heavy dumper there. Where's our bay cow? Is there. Where are you? You're currently there. So that's when we finish off this road over here. To be fair, I think we can call them back to our base and do it that way, because we've got a new base operations here, the tunnel exit base, so we can call vehicles here when we want them. To be fair, there's no new vehicles in shop that I'm pretty sure we haven't used yet. Let's have a look. I think everything's been used bar that one. That dumper truck only holds 5 ton. It is tiny, so we're not going to be using that. Yeah, we've used everything else though. That's the thing. So we want large dumper. We could use the bowhead. We do like using the bay cow though, so I think we'll retain the bay cow. This thing proved itself worth its money in gold. This thing was when we was doing the swamp road, the really big one. This thing was amazing. We really thought we was going to struggle in the swamp, but actually, no, this thing was incredible. So what we're going to do, as I say, we're going to fill in these bits of water with sand, and then we'll set the AI off here to do this road, and we'll extend it. The reason we get the AI, one, the AI can put the sand down better than we can, more evenly, but at the same time it would allow us to get other things done while it's doing it, and then we can just extend the sand slightly once it's done. When we're building a road that isn't designated as part of a mission, or hasn't got a route or the extension that we want to add on, we have to do it ourselves. But we do try and use the AI just for sand when we can. It just enables us to go and do other things as well. That's the thing. As I say, it is definitely a lot more even than I am when it comes to doing the sand. I've messed that corner up massively. But yeah, we had a few vehicles come close to drowning in this water on the road, so I think it is worth putting sand down just to make it so it's easier for us. Let's try and get rid of that hint. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to DLC maps coming in March on the new vehicle. We don't really know. Oh, the only new vehicle we're aware of, I think, is the Wrecking Ball, which will be interesting how they actually put that into play. And mod maps. Really looking forward to seeing some of those once we finish this DLC map and have done everything with the game. Right, so I'm thinking sand here. As we had a few vehicles come close to drowning, I'm just thinking we may as well not risk it, essentially. I don't think there's going to be a lot of sand needed here. Really just want enough that we're not going to drown any vehicles. That's more my thinking. I don't want to drown anything accidentally. And also we've got to get the asphalt along here, the roller. The asphalt especially, there's a risk of that drowning in the water here. If we've had other vehicles come close before as well. So it's worth, I think, just put a bit of sand down. It's not going to cost us anything because we've got to drive this way anyway with the sand spreader. It's not called a spreader, but we have to drive this way anyway, so it makes sense to actually do it while we're here, and we'll just flatten it as we go past it, essentially. I do like the way when you drive in the water, you can actually see the ripples of the water as you go through it as well. It's quite cool detail. I've said quite a lot of the details in this and how good they are. But yeah, the new DLC coming in March, all we're really hoping for is to bring back Kelly. Should be a campaign for them to bring back Kelly. She just adds so much to the story of the places you're in. It makes you feel more involved in the maps, I feel. I don't know if that's going to be enough sand there, to be fair. I don't think that's enough sand at all, is it? This is why I let the... don't tell me I beat myself. This is why I let the AI lay sand when we can. Because it can do it a lot more evenly than I can. Although with the big roads we've done recently on this map, for the infrastructure, I think we've done okay with actually putting the sand down, because we haven't been able to use the AI, I've done it myself. And it's taken time, but I think we've done okay, really. Okay. So a little bit more on the end here. And then we'll set the AI off to do the road over there, and we'll come back and spread this out. And then we'll carry on with extending the road once the AI is done with its thing. To be fair, actually, once the spreader does its thing there, I don't think we need any more. But yeah, I wasn't going to asphalt it, but I think we will. I don't know if we need to do this here as well. We're passing it anyway, so maybe it makes sense to do this, as we are passing through. But if we have to get a convoy here, it would make it a little bit easier for using the wayfarer. Maybe it's not necessarily needed or urgent to do, but since we're driving past it anyway with everything, it's just something else that we can just do, make our lives a little bit easier going forward. I think that's the big thing with roads. You can make your life so much easier, especially when it comes to convoys, and especially if they're using the wayfarer for the convoy. And we don't lose anything bar a bit of time to do this. So yeah, I think I wasn't going to do this actually, but I think it does make sense. I'm not going to go past where the road is going to be though. I'm only going to go up to where the road is. It won't join correctly anyway, it never does, but... yeah, this will all be spread out when we drive everything else through while the AI is doing its thing. We're not really losing anything by doing this. It's just going to make it easier long-term thing. We don't normally, unless you feel like we really need it, I don't normally do extra bits like this. But I just think, why make our life difficult when we can make it easy? That's my thinking. Okay, one little bit. We're heading to the zone. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Now I've done this bit, the join is going to be the problem, I think. Although I can do some of it, I think. So it does get muddy here, so doing this maybe will be a help long term. But yeah, I wasn't originally planning to do this, to be fair. In terms of joining it, kind of need to go just to that edge point, really, where the road's going to start, so we can set the vehicle off from here. But I do want a kind of join, if possible, to a degree. But yeah, we got rid of all the trees. Did we get rid of the tree stumps? I just had a thought. I'm doing this without thinking about tree stumps. We did, didn't we? I think. That's a very good point. I don't think we did. No, we've left tree stumps there, haven't we? There's me getting carried away thinking, actually, we can crack on. We've still got tree stumps to deal with. I didn't think of that. Right, what are we going to do? Obviously, we're not going to be able to set this off immediately anyway, because I've just realised I've done tree stumps. Just saw this cracking on with sand, but slightly wrong with me. Okay, the other thing, no, that's actually alright. There seems to be a decent join there. Right, let's go back a bit here. Because we are going to set the AI to do this. But yeah, I didn't even think, actually, we need to do... we need to cut down some... We need to get rid of the stumps first. I kind of thought we were ready for sand, but I'm definitely wrong, I think. I don't know if the arm actually kites me too low to go through the water. I think to play it safe, let's use the MTK. I don't think there's any other stump grinders that we haven't used yet. Let's just double check. It is worth double checking because you never know. Log grabber, of course, we don't want that. Log forwarder is the new one. No, I don't think there's anything. There's only 2 stump grinders essentially. Then weren't sure if anything else had been added. I was not sure. But yeah, so. We'll go and quickly do the stumps, as I completely forgot. And then we'll go and set the AI off. I don't know, I didn't even think of that. I just thought we were ready straight away to lay sand. Obviously, slight error of judgment. So we did use a new log forwarder in the last stream, using the new woodwork vehicles that were added. We tried the tractor unit previously, weren't a massive fan of it. The crayfish still beats everything hands down. The new log forwarder, felt that was okay. Took a bit to getting used to, and obviously it's on track, so it's slightly different to some of the other vehicles we've used. It was a bit fiddly to start, but once we got used to it, I don't think it was too bad. And what was the other thing we added? There was 3, wasn't there? I can't remember what the 3rd vehicle was. Don't think it wasn't the kite. We've used that previously. Can't think for the life of me what the 3rd vehicle was that they added. I know we've used them all. We've used all the DLC vehicles now. But I just can't think what the 3rd one is. There was 3 vehicles added. Why can't I think of it? It's going to annoy me if I don't double check things. So, your shop. Oh, no, that's the new log forwarder. We tried the new harvester. There was a 3rd. What? They're the 2. Was that only 2 added then? I thought it was 3 vehicles. I could be wrong. But anyway, we tried them all. Yeah, the actual tractor unit that cuts down trees, not as good as the crayfish in my opinion. I do prefer using the crayfish over anything, to be fair. Mike Gold, good morning, how are you? As I've said to you before, you don't know there's no one in chat. My number's currently 7. Just changed, it just went up. I can see 7 people according to my view. But doesn't mean people are talking. Yeah, my control point that I see, my screen says 6 people. But the YouTube numbers don't always have that as a right number. I've said this to you before, that numbers don't always add up. We've had it before where we've just started within 5 minutes and like 10 likes out of nowhere. Yeah, no, it does. It will say that. I've said to you, numbers it shows people are wrong. My numbers are wrong as well. It may say 6, but it doesn't mean 6. That's what I've said to you before. Just because it says 1 or 0 doesn't mean that's actually the case. We've had 0 people in chat, or 0 people watching, or according to what it says, but yet people are talking in chat. That's how I know it's wrong, because we've had that before, a few times to be fair. It says 0 and yet people are chatting in chat. So, well, how can that be 0 then? That's the thing. Right, get rid of this log first and foremost and stump. I'm not totally saying you're lying. What I'm saying to you is, and we've spoke about this before, is the number it shows you and the number it shows me isn't always correct. Is what I'm saying. Doesn't mean you're lying, it just means that it's not correct. As I say, we've had 0 people, it says before, and then we've had like 5 or 6 different people talking in chat. That's how we know it's not always correct. That's the thing. But it's all good. Like I said, I've said it many a time. If no one's here, I'd still be streaming. If there's a million people here, I'd still be streaming. It doesn't change anything. I don't act differently because of the amount of people in chat. So it doesn't bother me. And as I said also before, our stream times aren't the most conducive for any channel. You know, the time we start streaming in the UK is time everyone's going to school or college or work. And in America, they're generally asleep early hours of the morning. So our stream time does affect things massively, and we're just not able to stream at better times. So we just do what we do. That's why our growth has been incredible. I've been thoroughly amazed by the growth we've had in the past 5 years, just because of the fact that we don't stream at the right times for anyone. But then this is why I've said that according to my numbers, we have a 50-50 split on people who subscribe and watch the live stream to people that watch the episodic content, which is why I'm annoyed at myself for not being able to do the episodic content out, because of being falling asleep all the time. You know, we're losing potentially half our audience because I'm not able to keep up with it or get it done, which is why it's become so frustrating. That's the thing. Yeah, we should turn off the mulch as I went to take that tree out. We just knocked it down anyway. But yeah, it's annoying. I'm trying my hardest, but I can't stay awake. That's the thing. We thought after we was diagnosed with sleep apnea and using the machine at night would help, and it did temporarily, but it's reverted back. Admittedly, a lot of the lack of sleep and tiredness and stuff is coming from, well, some of it's the medication, the painkillers. They're all sedatives essentially, which is one of the reasons I never wanted to go on to painkillers and stuff and opioids, because I knew I could potentially be a zombie, and it is kind of the way I am come the afternoons. Some mornings as well, to be fair. I could wake up in the morning, be able to drink a cup of tea, have a half little boy, I'll be falling asleep there and then. It's horrendous, it's really tricky. But there's no real way around it either. But the opioids don't help. The lack of sleep also comes from obviously pain. Last night was hell. I was helping, well, I was doing dinner last night and opened the oven. And because I can't bend down for another half got what it was in the oven out, I went to close the oven door and caught it on my foot, my bad foot, and yeah. I've cried a few times since I've been injured because the pain is that intense, and yeah, that was one of them. And even today I can still feel it. It feels like I've cut my toes off. It's not fun. But yeah, so some of the reason we don't sleep and are tired in the afternoon is pain. Another reason we fall asleep the way we do is sleep apnea. Was tested for that and got diagnosed with severe sleep apnea. My other half said she told me so. I said, no, I didn't think it was. I was wrong. And then it's the opioids on top. So all three things are what makes us fall asleep. And there's no real way of combating that. Even with the implant going in, that's not going to change things massively. The aim is a 20% reduction in pain is the aim. Little mushrooms on the floor there. Didn't notice on the floor there. Yeah, the aim of the implants is a good outcome is a 20% change in pain. They're hoping for more, but 20% is the aim. Which may not sound a lot, but every little helps in my mind. At this point, you know, I would happily have any reduction, as I've not had a single pain-free day since the accident. That's the thing. So there we go. The heavy dump truck is now doing its thing. I don't know why it's reversing all the way back. I didn't need to lay that sand, I don't think, then. I put sand down thinking I needed to, but it looks like the dumper's doing itself. But it doesn't matter. Either way, it's fine. Right, we need to head to the garage while it's doing what we need to do. We want our spreader. I keep calling it a spreader. The Arding Roadworks 750R. No, we don't. That's the roller. What am I doing? The Vostok Pioneer is what I mean. We want this. So we can spread out all the sand we put down and then asphalt after that. Hence why we said we'd put sand in the water, because at least that enables us to get everything through. And because we're going to drive past it anyway, it's not a big deal in terms of flattening it. But when the sand's done, what we'll have to do is extend that bit out to join up, because we do know there's going to be a convoy come out of there. It's either going to end there or start there because of the yellow door. So because of that, we just need to make sure the vehicle's going to be able to move. If it's a Wayfarer, there's nothing worse, because we need to make sure it can actually get to where it wants to go. The Wayfarer being the worst vehicle in the game is the worst to try and get through places. The laying the asphalt will help, especially with the extension. And even through here, the water here I think will make a massive difference as well. I wouldn't be as worried if we were driving it ourselves, but convoys, we don't control them. And the AI in this is brilliant, but it does have its moments. That's the thing. So anything we can do to make sure it gets there straight away without having to keep fiddling around and changing the route, the better, really. But yeah, a few vehicles are coming close to drowning in this. When we first used this route in the last stream, a bit of sand there just to make sure nothing's going to drown, I think is a good thing. And it didn't take any extra time because we're already going this way anyway. That's the thing. It's not like this took up more time because of it. And we'll just chuck some asphalt down as we drive past it, or over it, essentially. Same as we extended this bit out as well. Probably could have spread all the way back to where the water was, but it's fine. But we're going to extend the road through the sawmill just to make our life a little bit easier, and potentially a convoy too. That's the thing, if you're passing some with vehicles that do like this, laying roadwork, laying sand and stuff, if you're passing anyway, there's no harm in doing it. You know, what do you really lose out other than a bit of time? If it makes your life easier long term, definitely a good thing. But yeah, one of the big things I'm looking forward to once you finish DLC is looking at some of these mod maps. I've never really done mod maps in most games. The only one I've actually used previously is the Farming Simulator. Me and a few mates used to play it. I don't really, because I can't stay awake anymore. I generally don't play them anymore, but we used to have a look at mod maps. Some of them are amazing. People create to add to a game is incredible. So I'm hoping some of the mod maps in this are just as good, detail-wise as well. So we'll have a look at those once we finish the Rebuild DLC, and also whilst waiting for the new DLC to come out in March. So it's a good way of having a look at other things as well. So if anyone has done RoadCraft themselves and been using mod maps, let us know your favourite mod maps for PS5, and we'll have a look at them once we finish the DLC. More than happy to give different ones a go, see what they're all about. Always interesting to see these things. The other thing I've been doing, my little boy and me have started doing car mechanics. I did it on the channel years ago. Really enjoyed doing it, but then I'd fall asleep while rebuilding the car and stuff, so it becomes difficult. But I really enjoyed it, so we've started doing it. Now there's been new cars released, drag racing has been included now as well, and stuff like that. So my little boy loves it. He doesn't like the rebuilding the cars as much because he doesn't have as much knowledge of cars. He's nearly 11, you know, he's not going to know that much about them. But he likes the drag racing and the high speed test and stuff like that. So I rebuild the cars after finding them in barns and stuff. And he then uses them on drag strip and stuff and does it that way. And he's really enjoying it, so am I. We're doing a little competition to see what vehicles are the fastest, most horsepower, best dyno, best drag speed, drag time and all that stuff. And just adding it all up together. The aim to drive every car and catalogue every car essentially. But we're enjoying it so far. It's just something we can do together really. And it's going well so far. The drag strip is incredible. No one's played car mechanic, you might not know what I mean, but drag strip DLC they added. A little boy's incredible at it. Like, reaction time is 0.015 is his best. It's incredible. Consistently under reaction time of 0.1. It's just mad how quick he is, and I can't get close to that half the time. But yeah, he's enjoying it. It's just something a bit different for us both, something mostly together. With the added bonus of obviously having a little competition between the cars, we try and set our best times. When it comes to, I'm just going to quickly swap out. I didn't see there's a broken tree there. We have got the stump grinder here, so we just swing this round and go and deal with that. Don't want to obviously getting caught onto a convoy or something later. But yeah, we see who sets the fastest time around the race track. He has 5 laps to set his best time. I have 3, and so far the 3 vehicles we've done so far, he's beaten me once out of 3, which he is massively pleased with. So I can't beat his fastest time essentially in a certain car. But yeah, really enjoying it. It's something we can do together really. There we go, tree gone. I wanted it out of the way so we can obviously not get caught on anything if we have when we have a convoy coming this way. Right, should we find that? Right, so we said we was going to extend this road through the sawmill. The reason for this was because we think there's going to be a convoy coming anyway through here. So it's just going to make sense to add this to connect it to the other road we have on the other side of it. It's not too big a bit to do, to be fair. DI's done the sanding on the actual road part. We'll do everything else now. We've got to extend this out first, and obviously the AI won't do this for us. It's not part of the mission essentially. But we'll go past the yellow door that I keep talking about. They're in a lot of different places in the yellow doors, and generally they are the start of the convoy. Or finish point of the convoy. So it's always good to see where they are and know where you're going to need to put roads and sand down and stuff. You can't get that close to it, you can't lay a road right up to the doorway. But especially if they've got the Wayfarer coming out of it. That's my one hope for the DLC. Is a vehicle that's different to the Wayfarer that does the same job. And he's better than the Wayfarer. That's the hope anyway. You can see how I'm a little bit uneven when I lay sand. Being uneven doesn't matter so much, it's just I find it annoying. I think I should be doing so much better. Okay. That's a lot of sand. Because we're right near the sand quarry, makes life easier. If the quarry is further away, you wouldn't be doing this extension probably. That's the yellow door I'm on about. Truck shack, is that called? Yeah. So that's generally the start or finish point of all convoys. So any yellow doors, you know you need to make sure you can get to them. I don't know how far it will let us put sand down towards the door. It does. Sometimes it lets you, sometimes it doesn't. It's generally not very close. Let's try it now though, because obviously if something's coming out of it, I don't want to get them stuck immediately. Unable to pour sand, there we go. So I knew it was going to stop us quite quickly. So you can't even get that close to it. I'm only pouring the sand out the back, not the front, so we were nowhere near it when it said you can't do it. So that tells me they can't necessarily get stuck immediately then, maybe. We've always done roads when we can near these though, just to make life a bit easier. Nothing worse than setting a convoy off and getting stuck immediately. Thanks for the like, but it was much appreciated. But yeah, hopefully we'll get this road done first thing today, and then we've got the electricity cables to lay, and get the metal beams to the next pump station to drain that bit of swamp as well. Kind of the aim. And then we'll see what missions come up after that. There may even be, once the sawmill's up and running, this mission may be extended to something else. I don't know yet. That generally does happen on main missions especially, so there's a chance we finish this and then we get something new as part of the same mission to do. But yeah, the swamp, draining the swamp, definitely something I'm going to try and get done today by putting power cables down, but also making sure we can get there, because we're going to have to deliver metal beams. If that water's really deep, we're going to have an issue. So we may need to put some sand or something through the water, knowing full well it's going to drain it at some point. But even drained will be a problem, because it will then become really muddy underneath anyway. So either way, we need to make sure we can get there without too much trouble. Whether we do a full-on road, I'm not sure. It depends really how bad it is. We have done a lot of roads on this map, long roads as well, but they've all useful long term to get the map finished. You know, anything that helps the convoy is definitely a plus. That's the thing. But we are spending a lot of time doing roads. But then eventually we'll get missions to come up and we won't need roads because they're already there, and then we'll fly through. That's the thing. It's always setting yourself up for the future with infrastructure. Definitely makes a big difference long term. A few issues bouncing around. So yeah, we just extend it to the road we've got here, just so that way there's an easier way off here essentially. The road's just up there, we didn't extend any further through. Just potentially could go up there, but we don't need to as of yet. If we need to extend, we can, but I don't think we're going to need to. I'd say the bake-out really proved its worth when we were doing the road through the swamp. It was incredible. Okay, the only thing I do want to do while it's refilling is just do a little bit here. So if we want to turn right, we can without too much issue. We'll extend the road ever so slightly, so we can actually spread this out so we can turn right, essentially. Got to make sure we can actually make these corners as easy as we can. Should be fine. Right, I always like to refill it before we leave it somewhere, so let's just put this over here for a minute, out the way. So next up, we'll finish off flattening the sand. We have a vehicle ready to go, it's already finished off the other bit of road. So we'll flatten all this out and then asphalter, and then roll it, job done, and we'll see what's next. If the mission changes, we'll do whatever it says, or we move on to the substation and the pump to get that up and running. And then we'll see. There is a potential we finish the the second of the 3 parts to the map story today, potentially. It all depends what point it gets to that it wants to swap over. There's still quite a lot of infrastructure stuff to do. Mainly pipe work, we haven't done any pipes yet. So it'll be interesting to see if we have some of those to do. A lot of it's power cables, it seems, at the minute. I don't know if it's more than we've done previously or not. It feels like it is potentially more. I'm just going to quickly try and push this a little bit this way. Yeah, unable to dig this area. It's fine. Just want to push it a little bit. It's just making sure that vehicles that come out of there can actually get out without too many issues. And this is where we try and make roads as wide as we can. So if we have to pass a convoy, it makes our life easier. Convoys don't mess around, they'll smash into you when they get a chance to. Thanks for the like, much appreciated. So far so good. Be interested to see how long they support this game for, in terms of long-term plans for it. Obviously we know new stuff's coming in March. And a wrecking board is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they actually add that in, and how that's going to work. In terms of what happens to the materials you smash up. You know, do they just disappear like some of the trees do, or will you have to get rid of all the debris? Will it break down into certain materials potentially? That's the kind of thing. It's really interesting to see how they actually address that. But I'm excited to find out, to be fair. Well, I really need to get back into SnowRunner. I need to not be falling asleep while trying to record it, admittedly. But I really miss doing SnowRunner. As I say, I've been trying for ages now to get our episodic content back up and running, but falling asleep is just a nightmare. It's definitely worse than it's been for a while now. I think some of that is pain as well, though. I don't think it's just the opioids and stuff that are doing it. It's just frustrating. I feel like I should be doing more in my afternoons rather than just trying to have lunch and falling asleep during that. Arling Roadworks next to 120 special. This is our asphalt layer, tarmac to us in the UK. So we are going to lay tarmac. Sometimes we'd actually drive this on the back of another truck just to make it quicker, but we're going to lay tarmac. I'll cross them 2 points where we put sand in the water. We might as well put it there, we're passing anyway. So we'll put some asphalt on those, and then the road, and then we're just going to roll it, and this will be mission complete. We should have got the sawmill back up and running. We've got logs next to the sawmill from the trees we cut down for the road, so hopefully if it needs them, we've got them right there, nice and simple. I'm not too sure what it's going to want from us immediately. Potentially that convoy may be something straight away. That's the thing. That could potentially what it could be. There might be a convoy to fully get it back up and running, just because we've got a road there and it says repair the sawmill doesn't mean that's it. It may need materials put there to actually get it back up and running, that's the thing. But yeah, for those that weren't here earlier, if anyone plays RoadCraft and has done any of the mod maps, let us know your favourite maps in the comments on Discord. So when we finish the DLC, we can have a look at some mod maps and see what they're like. I'm not too worried about mod vehicles. I'm quite happy with the vehicles we have. But in mod maps, definitely want to have a look at. Also, let me know your thoughts on yesterday's stream of Kingdom Come Deliverance. What do you think? Is it too realistic? I like the fact, and I said this yesterday, I like the fact that, so I've complained previously in other games where you start off as a character, there's never a shotgun in his life, but can use a machine gun or a sniper rifle and hit headshots easily. Now, to me, obviously that's the lack of realism there. Obviously it makes sense in some games, because that's the way the game is. It doesn't have to be realistic. But it does bug me a little bit every time. So to have a game where you try and use a sword untrained and you struggle, like when we was trying to rescue the woman yesterday and we were getting killed instantly, that's normal. And I like the fact that that's how it is. I was pleasantly surprised by that, to be fair. I wasn't expecting it. Same as the bow and arrow as well. I'm not saying that we've used really much of, we haven't really been trained in it, so actually using it isn't simple. I like that aspect. It will take time definitely to get used to it, I think, the combat. And there's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of times where we're just watching stuff play out. I don't know if it's all like that. I'm not sure. But even the poison from eating food that got off was interesting. Learn not to take food off dead bodies, because you end up getting poisoned, as we proved yesterday. So yeah, very different change of pace, very slow paced compared to some of the other games we've done. But I think it's an interesting one. And obviously we'll do number 2 when it's done. We'll probably do a vote for next main live stream game once we start number 2, or once potentially we finish everything with this, in terms of mod maps, DLC in March. I think the mod maps will take us up to March. Especially if now, because we've got this visual date for the operation, the implant. I don't know physically how if we're going to be able to stream, or we may need to spend some time recovering first. We don't know how it's going to be. My other half's had to provisionally book time off just in case, because I know physically for the first week I'm not allowed to bend, I'm not allowed to pick anything up, and the actual implant itself isn't up and running straight away. So they put it in, test it, works and stuff, and you can feel it doing its thing, alongside the battery pack that goes kind of on your hip, under the skin. And then they turn it off and send you home for a week. And then in a week's time you go back to them to turn it back on. The reason for that is to let the scar tissue kind of put it in place and fix it. So we know for at least a week I'm probably not going to be able to do much. And people say, oh, streaming doesn't affect you badly. It does. Every day we finish streaming and I walk like, well, I have to use a crutch anyway, but I walk like an old man, because I'm just a mess afterwards. So although it doesn't look like it's physically demanding, to someone that's what the injuries we have, it is physically demanding, that's the thing. I wish it wasn't, I really do. But we still crack on. So yeah, we don't know how it's going to affect. I'm hoping to get episodic content back by then, but at the minute I'm still struggling to stay awake. So I'm not sure. I don't want to have nothing on the channel for weeks. I want something going on, even if we can't stream. Just have to do a couple of video updates and stuff. But I don't know. And it's the unknown that's bothering me, I think. Now, we've known about the op coming up for ages, and we know it was coming at some point. Now we have a provisional date. I'm kind of more nervous than I ever have been about it. I've always had my doubts, because obviously it's a major op that's going to, well, it's for life. Once I put the implant in, I have to see them every year. Batteries will have to go be changed, so I need to go for surgery every few years. So the battery's changed. The leads can come off the nerves, and if they do, that's another operation. Can't go bungee jumping or anything like that. I don't think I can ever go on a roller coaster again either, because the forces could move it. That's the thing. There's so many different things you are then restricted of doing. So it is a life-changing thing, if the injuries themselves were. But I'm more nervous than ever before, and I don't know how to get around that. I think I'm overthinking it massively. But we'll see. It's one of those. I wanted the op for ages, because it's the last resort. If it works, it's a reduction of pain to some degree, and that's better than nothing. If it doesn't work, we're screwed. Essentially, there's nothing else they can do other than more painkillers, more opioids. That's our only option for life. So the 20% reduction they aim for with the implant, take it. I'll take 5% at this point. Anything is some sort of relief. Yeah, after slamming the oven door on my foot yesterday, not fun times. But yeah, hopefully my overthinking is completely wrong. I mean, you have it done, and it's like, well, that was easy. I don't know what I was worried about. To be fair, I panicked when we had the spinal injections. I was really worried about that. And then when we had it done, it was nothing. Yes, it failed, but actually having them done was painful, but it wasn't that bad. That's the thing. I think sometimes you overthink these things, don't you, in your head? And once you start overthinking it, it's difficult not to. And you then make it a lot worse than what it actually is in your head. That's the thing. And I'm definitely guilty of overthinking things. But we'll see. I think it's just the unknown. And people, they say, talk to people that have had it done. Everyone reacts differently to it, depending on where your CRPS is in your body as well. mine's obviously the foot, but someone in the hand will have a different reaction to someone with the foot. The nerve endings are sort of different places and stuff. So yeah, it's a bit all over the place at the minute. I don't think the phone will affect yesterday stream though. I think we did okay to kind of navigate that as best we could. It was on my mind, but I was trying to just ignore it, to be fair. Right, we're just going to finish off this bit here, then we can roll everything, and that's this infrastructure mission complete, this main mission complete at the same time, and then we'll see what's next, whether the sawmill's going to require something else, or when we go and deal with this pump station and get that up and running again as our next port of call. That's the thing with roads, they don't take too long, it's just a bit time consuming when they're long. Obviously we've extended this one, but generally they're fairly quick and easy to do, especially when you've got a base nearby to grab the machines from. You know, you're not driving them to the other side of the map essentially, are you? We have to load this on a heavy truck or anything. That's the thing. We don't want to park it there, so there is a post there. So we're going to get stuff off. Problem is, I won't see the post and I'll go to move this and then have an issue. Let's just go back this way. There we go. Right, rolling time, and then mission will complete. We'll carry on rolling though, because obviously we're extending this. So the Arding Roadworks 750R is our roller. This is the best. Well, there's only 2 rollers in the game, to be fair, and this is the best one. It's wider than the original. The other one, no, sorry. Is there 2 rollers? Or is it just one? I think there is 2, and this is wider. I think that's a big benefit. I'm thinking of the actual the sand leveler, actually, to be fair. But I was saying there's only 2. I think there is 2 of these though. This one is wider than the other one, so this is better. There's a sand leveler I was thinking of as well. But yeah, interesting to see what happens with the sawmill, whether we are going to need to take materials there, whether there'll be a convoy maybe to finish it off. If there is a convoy, we can plan the route and then crack on with other stuff. That's always the thing. There's always something else we can do while convoys are happening. That's why I was trying to get them up and running as quick as we can. Because there's other stuff we can do while they're doing their thing. But yeah, we have built a lot of roads. I think we've kind of decided we're not going for platinum in this, mainly because the collectibles, I'm going around the map looking for toys to sell, and I'm not that fussed about that. I don't think that would be fun. Although we have found toys, not without meaning to, we've just come across them randomly. So we have found some of them. Well, one thing we're going to do, we'll go straight here. We'll keep going to where we extended just a little bit past the road we're building, and then come back on ourselves to make sure this is fully rolled, and then we'll do the road itself, turn to the right here. I don't generally. We'll have to come back on that road anyway, aren't we? Actually, let's change that plan. So generally, we always try and, if we're rolling especially, try not to do any rolling empty-handed, if that makes sense. So we try and plan it so we actually come back on ourselves and roll more. We're never rolling over something that's already rolled, essentially. We always try and navigate that, so we're always doing something. So if we turn left here and go down the road we've just done, on the left-hand side of it, and then we come back on it, come back down. So it makes sense in my head. It may not sound 100%, but it makes sense in my head. It's like anything, you know, if you're in a job where you need to move stuff around, you never want to go anywhere empty-handed, because it defeats the point. You might as well always carry something somewhere. We try and do that in this as much as we can. It makes life easy if you're doing more than one thing at the same time, essentially. Now the reason we're right on the edge as well, for those that aren't aware, when you put sand down on level back, it spreads it further to the side. When you roll, you also get a bit of an extra bit to the side, so it makes it slightly wider. Not very much, but it's enough. And you'll see there's always a problem on the left, on the edge. It never fully levels it all, fully rolls it, is what I'm trying to say. It always leaves like a broken edge or loose edge, but it does extend the tarmac ever so slightly out. This is why we tend to go onto the side part as much as we can. That little bit of width will make a big difference when we're overtaking convoys or try and get out of their way. That's the thing. The more we have as a runoff, essentially, the better. So this is the join to the infrastructure bit. That'll be extended into the sawmill just to make our life a bit easier. To be fair, the asphalt lad didn't have any real issues laying. Sometimes you go up the little inclines and it doesn't like it. Wasn't too bad this time, to be fair. We'll do this bit here and reverse out again. Yeah, I'm thinking hopefully that bit there will help with the vehicles coming in or out of there. Sometimes they go, so it's not so big a deal. I don't want to get stuck on that entrance. And we know there'll be something there at some point, the convoy wise, that's the thing. Right, so we're nearly ready to go back on ourselves here. We may still have the middle to go back on as well anyway. Generally with this, because we can make these wider, these roads, with the asphalt layer and the spreader, because we can make them so much wider, generally it's left, right and middle me doing the three different routes essentially. Routes, three different runs, I think is the proper word. I saw yesterday there was a release of a new free-to-play game. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to play it, it doesn't interest me. But I think it's called High Guard. I know it's getting a beating online in reviews, and obviously I don't read reviews, I don't care about them. But I saw in some gaming news that it's been review bombed a lot. Some of it justified, some people are saying isn't. It's not something I plan on playing. It's a looter shooter, I think it's described as. But I don't know if anyone in the chat is playing it. If you are, then what do you think? Following a lot of free-to-play games is obviously loot boxes and stuff where they make the money in skins. And I generally don't play multiplayer games anyway. But yeah, I don't think I've heard anything good about it so far, which I'm surprised by. Because it sounds like they put a lot of effort into it, but a lot of people are disappointed by the sound of it. Right, we're going to we will have to come down the middle probably here. Let's say that actually, it gets thinner here. So the saver's coming all this way just to do a little sliver there, we might as well quickly reverse back. Do it that way. Yeah. I haven't really got any major releases this year I'm looking forward to. Obviously got GTA at the end of the year. I fully expect that to get delayed again. Just think it. We've already delayed it to the end of the year now. I think it will get delayed again. Wolverine is the other game I'm looking forward to this year. Don't really have anything else that I'm looking forward to at this point. Obviously I try and stay away from stuff not possible to go from as blind as you can. Obviously has disadvantages when you're trying to look out what's coming up. I haven't really seen anything that's grabbed me, that's the thing. There's meant to be a new car mechanic simulator this year, which I really want to do, because I'm playing it with my little boy anyway. That probably won't be for the channel, unless we think it's worth doing for the channel. Although I can't do episodic content now, unless that changes. It's the real issue anyway. But yeah, if anyone's got any upcoming games they're looking forward to, do let us know. I'm curious. I think there was meant to be a new Far Cry. I don't know if it's this year though. I think they're meant to be working on a new Far Cry though. We've still got Far Cry 6 to do episodically as well at some point. Again, it's all dependent on me being able to stay awake in the afternoons more than anything else. We're not going to need to come back down the middle here, so I'm just making sure we do it now to save us an extra journey for time that we deliver. But yeah, I don't really know what else this year I'm looking forward to be fair. And then, yeah, like I say, I don't really know what else is due out this year. weird. Normally I have 5 or 6 games that are must plays. We don't do a vote on it. We'll play it on release kind of thing. But yeah, I don't have it this year. We'll probably vote on GTA whether to do it on release if it does release. Wolverine will play on release no matter what. There's always a game. I always will say that we're not voting on playing it no matter what. That's the thing. But other than Wolverine, there's nothing really. There's probably games I've not seen. That's the thing as well. So if anyone has any games they're looking for, do let us know. Always interested. Our backlog of games to do on the channel is massive as it is, but always happy to add more. That's the thing. It's never ending. Right, this should be the infrastructure mission done and the main quest mission done. There we go. So I did say this. So the mission has changed. So revealed an area as well. We'll have a look at that in a second. Let's have a look at what it's done. So I said this would happen. There was more than just putting a road in place. But the road is done. Kept our connection as well. Normally, or sometimes, it puts a hard stop on where the road was infrastructure-wise. So the join doesn't work, but I think it's joined okay there. So we've done the road it wanted us to do. We've already put power to this. We did this as part of running power down to the tunnel exit base. Same terminal, something. So we put power to tunnel exit base, and because of that, we came past the sawmill. So the power's already done. We knew that would probably happen. So now we've got an infrastructure route to plan. This is going from the two-way tunnel here, going to the sawmill. So this is why we put asphalt down here and extended the road. So this route will end here. So because of that, our extension works. Now we can't plan this route just yet, mainly because we need to finish rolling. But we did think that this mission would change. A lot of missions do tend to add to them, so that's what's happened. So we just need to get this rolling, finished back through there, parts of the water bits, and then we'll set the convoy up. And while that's doing that, we'll have a look at the next main mission as well, while this convoy is running. But because of the extra stuff we've done here, this convoy should be really easy. Should do it no problems. To be fair, the journey will take, once the roads are built, even with a wayfarer, shouldn't be too bad, even without the road. Having the road here obviously makes it even easier. So yeah, I don't envisage any real issues. We'll have a proper look at rewards from that in a second as well. It may be one journey, it may be several. We gain rewards for every journey after the first one. We'll have a proper look at that in a second. Let's get this finished first. Then we'll proper look. Yeah, I had a feeling there'd be more to it. It's never normally to fix a building like the sawmill. It's never normally build a road, job done. There's always something more, materials to make it work. We'll read it in a second, but there's always something. And I like the fact you don't know the whole of the mission in advance. You know, yes, you can't plan as thoroughly unless you know everything, but I actually like the fact that the mission then moves on to more. And you kind of plan ahead because you kind of know what's going to happen to a degree. But it's always nice to have a little bit of surprise occasionally as well. Probably should have asphalt with this bit, to be fair. It's not very muddy, it's quite hard. It's kind of the end of the asphalt that's broken up the road. So it's not that bad, but maybe we should have done to make it look a bit neater. Right, last little bit. How did we miss that bit there? Maybe too much water. Doing it? No. I think there's too much water, that bit there. We didn't put enough sand down. So it's not fully doing it, but it won't affect traction anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay, that is that done. I never stopped rolling. That's one thing I've always done with this. Always left the rolling part on. So let's have a look at this part of the main mission I want us to do. So repairs require wood, so restarting the sawmill is essential. Build a road, near its driveway, done that. Plan a route from the two-way tunnel, supply the necessary equipment, and connect to the power grid, which is already done. Right, let's plan our route then, and then we'll go and look at the other main mission while we do this. So we're starting off here. Again, this is all fairly good asphalt, tarmac road, whatever you want to call it. So this should be fairly simple. It's a single reward by the looks of things. It's not an ongoing. So once the reward's gained, that's it. We won't gain anything else from it by the looks of things. Which is absolutely fine. It's not the end of the world. We don't need XP because we can't level up. We don't need money really. So it's not an issue being a one-off. Found that more and more. Some convoys are just singular. Right, round here ever so slightly. It doesn't look like it's the Wayfarer. Looks like it's a smaller vehicle, but sometimes it only shows the first vehicle in the convoy, not all of them. So there still might be a Wayfarer present, but we'll see. As long as it makes it along the tarmac, it's absolutely fine. Or asphalt. I keep swapping between the two, to be fair. I know in the UK we call it tarmac. I don't think there's a difference. I think maybe what's used to make it may be slightly different, or the process. Other than that, it is generally the same, I think. I've never really looked. I should look. Right, we've got that ready to go. It's a fairly simple route. Obviously, the extra asphalt we've added does help. So we'll dispatch vehicles, and then we'll go to the next main objective and have a look at that. So, use the backup pump station to drain the swamp. This is the big swamp here. We need to drain this. So while you're repairing the substation, we came up with a plan for the largest swamp. Local pumping station doesn't have enough capacity to drain it, but there's a backup nearby. Together they'll definitely make it. Activate the backup pump station by delivering steel beams and connect to power grid. Simple yet effective, right? So we need to get power here, and also bring steel beams. Steel beams we'll need to make. We've only got one in storage. That's not that bad. Obviously they're a little bit away, all the way up here. It's not that bad though. My issue is electricity. So we don't know how deep this is. I think we can get power from here to here. And I'd rather do that before we have to put a road in. But it just depends how deep this is. If it's really deep, we're going to have a problem. But we've got to get there first. Our actual vehicle for power... It's not a vehicle for power. I know what I mean. It's the cable arrows here. So we might as well just drive this from here to do this. But I think we'll lay the cable first to get power there before we do steel beams. So let's jump into our cable layer. We'll head down the hill, which is the way we came up to put power to this base anyway. That's the sawmill you can just see in the distance there, so we're just heading back down to the sawmill. And then we can use our road to head to where we need to go. And then we can figure out our best port of call to do this. It may not be that bad, it may sound worse than what it is, but it all depends how deep that water is. This cable arrow is incredible, it gets through most terrain, no issues, but it can also be drowned. That's my only concern. LBs, good morning, how are you? How is my... Oh, I thought you said how is my mum then, I'm like, what? Yeah, okay, not too bad, how are you today? There's a convoy just going past as well. I need to navigate all these tree stumps here. I think we're about to see the... So there we go, objective complete, sawmill is repaired. And we've got new missions pop up now. I'm just going to wait here for a second. Oh, we get one. Oh no, there's still more. Organised wood production. We'll have a look at those in a second. But yeah, not too bad, Elvis. How are you? Is that it? Okay, that's quick. Let's have a look. So obviously we're doing the other mission first, backup pump. So new main mission, organised wood production. We need to deliver 8 logs to there now. That mission will take us seconds because we have a load of logs from cutting the trees down to make the road just there. I think there's more than 8. So that's easy. We'll read the mission properly once we go and do it. That will take seconds to get done. That's a main objective. And then side objective, clear forested areas for new construction projects. That's different. So we need to clear this whole area of trees. We need to clear this whole area of trees. And this area of trees. That's different. I wasn't expecting that. But that's easily done. We've got forestry equipment nearby. So that's the things we'll look at. But we're going to focus on what we're doing now, which is the backup pump station. We'll focus on this first, then we'll look at everything else when we can. But yeah, I think the log mission would be really quick and easy. I think I'm stuck on a log. Stuck here. Yeah, there. Yeah, the log mission seconds, because literally they're already nearby. Although when we loaded in today, it did have a little bit of a nightmare and throw things everywhere. There may be a couple to pick up, but other than that, there's more than 8 there anyway. And to clear the forested areas, that's just a case of taking our time, cutting down trees and clearing the stumps, I would expect. And they're all nearby to where we are now, and where all our equipment is, so it makes sense. Which none of that should take very long. I say that. Definitely there's always a problem. Right, we want to be heading... So we want to be heading up here until we get near to the main power substation. That's where we want to go. So the end of this road, essentially. And then from there, we need to have a look at this water and see how bad it is. I'm hoping we can just go there and we can get through the water. It's not that deep, but I don't know. My concern is it's really deep, and then we need to do something to get across. Obviously, we've got bridge vehicles we can potentially use, but we need to be able to get across with the steel beams as well. That's why I'm a little bit unsure. Okay, where's the... oh, we need to go... Even I've gone the wrong way. We need to not come up here. We need to go carry on over the road. I don't know why I thought we were going up here. We don't. We needed to go follow on straight and turn left, right instead. We'll head back down, then turn right at the junction. Follow that up to when the road stops. Yeah, if the cable layer can't make it across, not many other vehicles will. That's the thing. And this thing can normally get through most terrain. And if you are going to put a road there, it's better to do the cable laying first, as we've said before. We've yet to have to break a road that we've built, though we've not used asphalt destruction before, because we've never had to. We've always planned ahead, and then cables have always done by the side of roads, or done ahead of roads being built. It's never been a problem. So, we've got away with it so far. Potentially we need to extend this road this way, maybe. That does look really deep. Is my concern. So there used to be a road here. This is where the connection was. My concern is it's really deep. There's no better connection though. Even going from there to there isn't very good. And this connection here is just as bad. So we either have to build a bridge. The thing is, we know the swamp is going to be drained once we've done this. So putting anything in place may not be needed once the swamp's drained. How deep is it? If I start laying cables now, and we'll just see how far we can go. It may make it fully, I don't know. It does look very... Well, that's actually not lay cables straight away. Let's have a look. It's ready to reverse. There we go. See, just starting to get deep there. Is it too deep to lay cables is my question. Yeah, it's too deep to lay cables. Even at full speed, it will be too slow to get through that bit, I think. Okay, so if we can't do that, that means then we need to put a bridge in place. Now, I wonder if we put sand there, can we then lay cable on the sand once the sand's been put in place? Because that's the thing I'm not sure of. Either that, or we need to come across here maybe, where it could be shallower. Because this could be a shallower bit there. It's a tricky one really to know how the best to get across. And our big bridges won't reach. Our big bridge, if we look at the size of them, which we've got over here, these bits, it's not even going to get that. That's a big one, isn't it? There, yeah, yeah, they're big ones, and it's not really going to make any difference. And we can't make normal bridges. Not that it helps to spread electricity anyway. I don't really know how we're going to do this, really, to be fair. Obviously the trees here potentially mean it's not as bad over this way. But it all looks too deep everywhere. There's a underwater bit here that's got pipe work. That's something to watch out for. Could we make it if we just went full steam ahead? I don't know if we could. Even laying sand, though, is not going to be simple. Because we don't have a quarry nearby. You have to keep going back to the road to refill. Which is a problem. The only other thing I can think of is maybe through the trees here. That may be our best option. Try and navigate through these trees and try and come across here. The trees here, you can see how deep it is via the trees. That may be our only real option, to be fair. And then to drive the beams across, I think we can probably move quick enough in one of our other vehicles with the beams on board that it won't matter. The cable, I think, will be too slow. That's the thing. But yeah, we'd have to start here maybe. Come through the trees and aim for here. And then aim to come across there. Because we only need to get to the edge of this to make it work. Yeah, let's try that. So I think if we head to where... See, we have to ignore the rocks. But we want to be near that rock formation, I think. We'll try that and see if it works. I just don't think we'll make it through the water itself directly. We're too low to the ground effectively, whereas the Moron or the Mule with the beams on board is higher up, so we won't drown as easily. The only thing we're navigating through trees is obviously the trees themselves we can get stuck on. It's the only thing we've got to watch out for. But if we kind of aim for here, I will put a marker down just so we kind of aim for the right place. So the aim is there, essentially. And we can start slightly further ahead than where we are now. We want to be heading for that marker. Okay, we can start roughly there. Navigating through the trees without obviously getting caught on trees as much as we can. Thin trees we can knock down. Don't want to slide if we can avoid it here really either. Even some of these big trees we can just knock down. There we go. Okay, first stage not too bad. We're nearly at where we put the reference point. Now the concern is the water. Now this on the map looks shallower, but as we all know, the map can be very deceiving. Although it looks shallow, it doesn't mean it is. Let's see. Get deep. I don't think I can make that. I didn't think that'd be a problem, but it is. We are drowning. Just see the edge we need to get to there as well. I just can't get there. This is too low, essentially. Problem is, there's nowhere. I can't see another way to do this. We've got to get across here, I think. Maybe we'll just go full beans and see what happens. We have got a crane just here to lift us out. If we do drown, we can lift ourselves out. I think we go full beans, aim for the trees, essentially, and see what happens. And so we can lift ourselves out if we get stuck. We deactivate and then activate again. Kind of want to be going full speed when we hit the water, because the faster we're going at that point the better, although obviously laying the cable is never that quick. But yeah, I want to be going full beams really. Yeah, we're just going to, I think, aim for the trees fast as we can. If we drown, we can get ourselves out. Currently I can't see another way to get across there. Now, as I say, I don't know if we lay sand and then we can lay a cable in the sand. I don't know how that works. It may allow us to, it may not. So, just to be safe, we'll do it this way. Right, let's go. I've no speed at all. Normally, if you drown a vehicle and you keep driving, as long as your front end comes up, you can carry on. In fact, we have. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Yeah. Oh no, we're drowning now. We're drowning now. No, we're out again. The thing is, as long as your front end comes up, you won't drown. As long as it comes up before you fully submerge. So we've actually done it. We're drowning now though. So we flooded the engine. No, we're still going. No, we've drowned it. Okay, we have drowned the vehicle. We've already connected the power though. So what we'll do, we'll just recover this now. It doesn't matter where we recover it to at this point. They're all free. Highland base will do. But we've recovered the vehicle. We've done what we needed though. The power's there, so full beams worked. It actually got deeper, weirdly, around this area here, which is why we drowned. We were fine until there. If we come in this way, I think it would have been okay. So now we need to make steel beams. We need 8 in total. And then we need to deliver them. So we'll have a look at the route there once we've done the beams. So the steel beam sit is here. We need to go and grab a load of metal and take it there. Now, anything with a crane is probably a good thing. Where are our current vehicles? So the Voron or the Mule would be handy. Mule is there. Let's use. Where's the Trailblazer? Trailblazer's up on the central radio station. Mule is Highland base. Let's use the Mule then. It's already at the Highland base. We just need to look to where we can find some metal, really. So if we go across to there, there's a bit of metal here we can take. There's a tractor. There's a load of stuff down there as well. As we've got to head over here to make the beams, we may as well take anything we can with us. So we'll jump in the Mule that's here. We'll get as much metal loaded up as we can. I think a lot of it's going to consist of barrels more than anything else. There's a barrel behind there, but it's not. It's just one barrel. Right, anything here? I think these barrels here potentially. Yeah, there you go. So we just load what we can into the back and then drive there. We probably won't have enough for all 8 immediately, but we'll do. We'll get as much stuff there as possible. And if we need more, we need more. There is lots of stuff near to it that we can go and grab. That's the thing. But I don't like going there empty-handed. We may as well have something in the back of us when we get there. That's the thing. There's nothing worse than getting there empty-handed. You know, we can always take stuff with us. Okay. I don't think we need to strap it down. We need to change the camera though. Right, more metal. What else have we got here? There's a load of stuff in that corner there, as we can see. Yeah, it's all flashing blue. So I think it's okay to get as much of this loaded in as possible. I do like to do this by moving the crane at the least amount possible, if we can. This makes life so much quicker. Not always possible though. If we don't need to move the crane, brilliant. Sometimes you have issues like that though, where it gets stuck. When you think you're being clever, and actually turns out you're not. So we're near that building there, so just got to be a little bit careful where the train goes. But yeah, there's many of these in the back. I don't think we'll be able to pick up the tractor as well that's nearby. Although, it depends, if these lay flat, potentially we probably get the tractor on top of them. Maybe. There we go. That little overhang of the buildings are really annoying, to be fair. If it weren't for that, this would be a bit simple. Although we could have just reversed it, to be fair, that would have made this simple. But yeah, these won't, I definitely won't equate in one shot, but it's something towards that number. That's the thing. Give me the ones I want. There you go. Yeah, maybe reversing would have been better, to be fair. You live and learn. No point changing it now. We have got quite a lot of the metal around this area already. The metal beams to make bridges previously. But there's other places we've not really been to yet to grab metal from. So there's plenty of places. It just means we may have to travel further afield to go and grab it and bring it back. That's the only thing. Just up on those stairs, aren't you? There you go. A few more still to grab. Yeah, we might be able to get that tractor unit on top. Obviously it may make it a little bit top heavy. We have to be careful on corners, but other than that, maybe I can get it on top as well, to be fair. Right, I think there's one left, essentially. Come on, give me the one I want. There we go. That'll be the last one it gave us. But yeah, it may sit nicely on top, I'm not sure. At least try and get it on board. They sometimes can fit, sometimes they're a pain in the butt to actually get it to stay flat. So the tractor unit, let's have a look at the size of it. They're generally awkward. Maybe it's there. It's going to be awkward. I think we can potentially get it on board. Don't know how heavy it'll be. That's the only thing. Also, weight. It may be too heavy for this. The yellow flashing is something that can be sold in the shop, essentially. Right, we'll give it a go. If it is too heavy, what we'll do is take it, just not take it. I had it there as well. Flipped off it too quick. There we go. I don't know. I feel heavy it is on the crane. Obviously I don't want it causing us issues when we're travelling. It will strap down if we get it on board though. A bit. Maybe too heavy, I'm not sure. We can lower it. Lift the crane up. Like there. We attach load. Let's try and strap it and see what happens. There we go, it's on board. Anchors. Okay, definitely see it's very heavy, but we're not lifting up the front end, so we can do this. Obviously it'll just be a bit of a careful journey, but At least there's a decent amount going there immediately. Someone forgot to lock the door of the tractor though. So straight to the steel beam facility, steel mill, I should say. See what's left after recycling this amount. Like I say, there's plenty more nearby. You can see how awkward this is though. There is a lot of weight now on the back of this. Now this is the basic mule, and the difference between this and the basic Voron is the one stat in stability. That's it. The mule T1 Trailblazer has the same stats as the Voron. So this is only one stability less, which isn't that big a deal. And it's been our go-to for many maps. This, the Voron and the Trailblazer from the DLC. Just because they've got a flatbed you can carry stuff in, and they've also got a crane. This means you're saving yourself to take a crane to every location by using one of these instead. But the downside is what they can carry is a lot less than other things. That was a little bit bumpy. Bumpier than normal, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the weight is the problem. If you make them too top heavy, going around the corner becomes difficult because they'll just roll. If you make them too heavy on the back, the front wheels will be off the floor, and that then becomes a problem trying to drive as well. Right, we hit the sand. There was a bridge there. We took the bridge down from there because we weren't really using it anymore. You can go around this way instead. The shortcut wasn't really worth doing. At some point we could asphalt all this. Again, we don't really need to at the minute. If the route was used a lot more, maybe, because the sand would degrade over time. But an asphalt stops that. But at the minute, it's fine as is. Yeah, you can see the weight is causing a few issues when it comes to going corners and also actual acceleration. So that is heavy, but we'll make it. It's not an issue. It'll just take a couple of minutes longer, I think, just to be sure of speed and stuff to make sure we're not doing anything silly. There's another tractor to our left there, actually. The worst thing is if we tip over. We may be able to save ourselves the crane in time. We have done that in the past. It's not a given, that's the thing. Although, like I say, a lot of this is tarmac, so it's not the end of the world. When it's all asphalt / tarmac, life gets really easy because you don't really have to worry too much. And we're going to build a road up here, so we know it's all going to be a decent route at least. Not muddy, we're not going to stuck in that regard. Yeah, I did say good morning, LVs. I don't know if you heard me or not. I wondered as if you didn't. Yeah, you can see the speed is definitely massively reduced. Just wait. We're nearly there as it is. Yeah, we'll get these all put in, see how much it gives us. 8 isn't many, that's the thing. It's a bit of a drive from here to where we need to take them though. That's the thing we've got to figure out. We can either put them in our garage and then go to a different garage and pick them up from there, or we drive straight from here to there. But maybe best to drive straight from here to there, to be fair. It's just not going to be a quick journey. Right, steel mill is on our right. How much will this give us? Will this be close to the 8 we need? That's the big question. Recycling point, remember, is to our right. I think we've cleared this place out, most of its metal anyway. Previous. Okay, here we go. Need to unstrap when we get there as well. What does that give us? 7. We're 1 short. We have got 1 in storage, to be fair, but we're just 1 short. So, is there any more metal here that we can quickly grab? Yeah, there's some behind here. So just down that alleyway into the back of the building is some metal that we can quickly grab. And we don't have to take it far either, that's the thing. So that's nice and easy. And this will be another swamp drained as well. Be interesting to see what we actually find from that. There's the container. What I'm going to do with this, we're not actually going to put it, well, I might have to. Heavier than I was expecting, to be fair. Right. What I was going to do was just hold it in the crane. I still might. Let's just anchors. Yeah, this is heavy. Well, it's not too bad now it's on, actually. Because all we're going to do is just drop this off. There we go. 8 beams ready to go. So if we now take out the 8 beams, we can get ourselves loaded up and then deliver these, and that will be the backup pump ready to drain the swamp. But then what we'll have to do is check the route. I don't quite know from here what the route's like to get there, to be fair. I think it's a fairly straightforward one, it's just knowing where we're going. But yeah, 8 of these, and that's job done. And also after this, the next main mission we have, the sawmill, we'll do really quickly because it's logs and they're already there. So we might finish quite a few missions in quick succession. Can't quite remember how many percentages we started there. I think it was 51% complete. But yeah, we're going to get a few missions done in really quick succession, I think. Just because we've done all the groundwork via the infrastructure previously. Right, it's 4 on board. As I said, I generally try not to move the crane too much, but it's just a lot easier to get them to us. Saves us a bit of movement, a bit of time by not moving too much. Two more to go. I do want it slightly flat. Obviously there is going to be a bit of weight to these in the back, so they can't be that, because of the route where we're going and how far it is. I do want to be decently set up so I'm not falling over each other and stuff. Not too bad. It's more just spreading out the weight more than anything else. I had that one there. There you go. That's 8 on board. 8 of these is a fair weight, that's the thing. There we go, job done. Right, let's fold the crane, let's strap them down. Anchors, camera. Right, let's have a look at our best route here. So we're leaving here. And we want to get here. It's a long way, as I say. We might be better off going back to here and coming along here, maybe. I think that's the best route. If we come back towards the Highland base via this road down here, come across here, over the bridge, and then our road up through here and through the other swamp. That'll bring us to the oil pumps, through those, down the road we used previously, and then we're here. Again, I think full beans along here will make it without getting stuck. I think. Worst comes to worst, we've got a crane to help as well. So, I think that's a decent route to take. That will get us the 8 steel beams there, and that will drain that swamp, and then we'll see what's after that. It seems a long way, but actually, once you get going on the roads and stuff, it's not too bad. And the weight of these is nothing compared to what we just had on the back of the tractor unit, as well as the barrels. So their speed's increased because there's a lot less weight in the back. Although you can tell slightly in corners that it's still a heavy load. 8 steel beams is still a big weight, so you can feel the difference when turning. Speed-wise, I think we are a little bit faster-ish. We don't want to be going too fast, we're not messing up, but We'll just follow the road all the way down, but back towards the Highland base. We won't go into the base itself, we don't need to. I know there's one in storage, but we don't need to use that at the minute. And the next, unless this mission changes something else, and it may do, because we'll follow this mission to its end, so if it changes something else we need to do, we'll do that too. But after this, we've got the sawmill to do with logs. Nice and simple, already there. It's always nice when a mission's really simple because you've already got stuff in place. I think that's the tunnel there, isn't it? So we're heading right here. Follow the road round. Till we get to the bridge. Yeah, I think it was 51%. I normally check when we first start, and I didn't even think about it today for some reason. I think it was, because I think I was surprised in the last stream to get over 50. I think I was adamant we didn't because of the road and stuff we're doing. We hadn't done many missions, we'd done a lot of infrastructure. I think I was adamant that we wouldn't get anywhere close to 50, and I'm pretty sure we ended on 51. But I could be completely wrong. We'll see what percentage we are come the end of the stream. We've still got just under 2 hours left. There's still plenty of time to get quite a bit more done. Potentially finish the second part of the free part of the story to this map. That'll be 2/3 done then. The percentage complete doesn't always relate to how much of the story part you've done. But obviously the percentage also includes side missions and infrastructure. So it doesn't always equate to the same thing. That's why we always try and do side missions alongside main missions as much as possible. There's nothing worse than finishing the main mission. The map is complete, or it says it is, but yet there's still other bits and pieces just to finish off. I'd rather get them finished first before the end of the main mission if possible. And we've 100%ed every map so far, so we don't want to lose that trend so far. There is still a lot of infrastructure here, mainly replacing pipes. It hasn't really told us to yet. We haven't got a mission to replace pipes just yet, although we've only just unlocked pipe building, to be fair. But at some point I'm sure it will want us to. But yeah, there's a few infrastructure missions like that. I think there's more roads to build as well in the infrastructure missions as well, which may turn into main missions at some point, depending. The roads generally do. So some of the pipe work replacing doesn't. That's the thing. Okay, we're heading over the bridge over there, and then we'll take an immediate left to our built road through the swamp. Kind of know where I'm going now, I think. Been on this map for quite a while now, so we kind of know just about where everything is. Occasionally you still need to check. But our built roads, this road going through the swamp has saved us so much time long term. Because even draining a swamp is fine, but it's what's left afterwards. It's the mud and everything else to still navigate through. And this bit here wasn't too bad, it's through the quarry. It just made sense to connect the whole road fully. But this is a swamp bit down here, and this was a nightmare. Because before we built the road there was a mission we needed to do here, to then drain the swamp. I think the road was before we drained, to be fair. It sits quite high, so I think it may have been done before we drained the swamp. But it was because it was a nightmare to get past and through, and we needed to for a mission. So we just thought, we'll just make the road go through and then job done. It worked out quite nicely, to be fair. I don't think it was an infrastructure mission. I think we did it on our own back. I think. Because we do a lot of extensions on roads and things, I quite generally forget what we've done ourselves. I think, judging by how this is laid out on the angles and stuff and the corners, I don't think this was a mission itself. I think we just did it to make our life easier. Okay, we need to head through here, which will be a left-hand turn down the end. And then we'll hit another one of our roads, and then we follow down to the junction and turn right, I believe. I think this was also the location we saw there was 2 steel beams sat on the floor that we found whilst doing other things in here. Should we go and sell them tyres so out of the way, to be fair? I'll just move them out of the way. Yeah, there's two, is it 2 or 3? 3 beams there if we ever need them. We just need to pick them up and take them to wherever they're going. Start with debris and stuff here. So yeah, we're back to where the sawmill is. We follow this road down to the junction, turn right. And then we're nearly there. Like I say, the big thing is getting across that water. I think full beams should be okay, or we go where we laid the cable and go that way. That's the other option. I think this is higher off the ground than the cable layer was, so that will make a difference. And so as long as we're going quick enough that we can keep going forward when we're drowning, as long as the engine then is out of deep water, it will then sort itself out. So I'm thinking full beams. And then maybe we might need to build a road here once the swamp is drained. Like I say, we have got a big crane nearby, so if we need to pull ourselves out, potentially we can. Thanks for the like, all much appreciated. We laid the cable here, and that was shallow enough once we got to here. We got deeper out again here, and there were some moments. I think full beams, I think it should be okay. This can either go one or two ways, really well or really badly. I don't know which one at this point. Just gonna get to that. Right, full beams. Kind of expecting more speed. The mud is not helping. I got deep quick, didn't it? We are drowning. Yeah, full beams didn't work. I really thought we could make that, to be fair. But no. Okay. Well, we live and learn. Big crane will come and get us out. I think maybe then we need to go across where we did with the cable layer. I think that's our only option, then go cable layer route. Downside to that is if over the cable layer's pathway, it's going to be really bumpy and slow. But we did find that was quite high up. That might be our best option. Either that, or this can lift us over, out of the water enough that we can make it. There's also that option. We can't reset vehicle because of what's on the back of it. So it's steel beams. We knew it was a risk. I think it was a risk worth taking. Knowing the crane was here, that made that risk a little bit more sensible. I think what we do, back up to it, because that gives us more reach essentially. There may be a case we can put it on a shallower point further ahead, and that will get us there. And then once the swamp is drained, it's not an issue anyway, although the mud may be. Okay, can we see the vehicle while it's submerged? Just to see the steel beams poking out of it. Right, how far can I go with this before we drown? That's the thing, the anchors do raise us up here. I may want to go a bit closer maybe, I don't know. I was hoping we could stretch it out and potentially move this further forward, but I don't think we're going to be able to. That's our reach. So if we now anchors, okay, I need to keep an eye on if we're going to drown, but my hope is we get a bit closer and we can then just move it further out. Do not want to drown this. Okay, I think that's it. There we go, it's okay. So yeah, we can move this further forward. Now, is that enough so it's on shallower land? No, still going to be deep water. Oh, looks of things. Yeah, even that's deep. So I think we're going cable layer route. I think that's our only real option here then. Is go across where the cable layer went. because that route there is just too deep. There was always a chance it was going to be. At least we gave it a go. Yeah, I was hoping it would get shallower and our reach on the crane would allow that, but doesn't seem to be enough. There we go, back to the mule. Okay, so we'll go cable laying route. We know that's shallow into the trees, and then obviously we're just going to navigate through them trees and not do what we did with the cable layer and actually go to a deeper part. We do need to be a little bit careful there. We can follow the cable layer through the trees. Again, we've always got the crane to come and help if we need to. But some of this is always trial and error, just to see what the best way of doing it is. The awkward thing is we know the swamp's about to be drained. So, you know, we don't really want to put a road or anything in just yet, knowing full well the actual land itself will change once it's drained anyway, and a road may not be needed. Probably will, because it's going to be really, really muddy, but you never know. Don't do it. We'll skid there. So my only concern with this is obviously we did drown the cable layer in the end. I don't want to do that this time. Well, let's go to one side. It's because of the cable being laid. We're kind of on that track part. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. No! No, that wasn't what I wanted to happen. I think we kind of got caught on where the track was, where we laid the cable, and that caused a problem there. Right, we're going to go and lift it up again. I know it's not deep there, but because we've laid the cable underneath, it leaves a mound essentially where the cable's been laid, and driving on that puts you to one side. This is why we always lay cable next to roads and not on them. So it means that we don't really have to drive over it. It makes our life a little bit easier and less likely to do what we just did. But obviously, I think it's a tight area of what's actually shallow and what's not. Still think this is our best route. It's just making sure we get there. But yeah, tipping over didn't help. Let's put it that way. I think we would have made it without tipping over. Right, let's stop there. Okay. So you can see it's actually quite shallow where it is. Let's do our full stretch. Lift up. Oh, it's because the crane's out. The crane being out is causing us to tip forward. I was just going to see how far we can get it towards the trees. It's still quite deep there, isn't it? I didn't think it was that bad in the cable, although we were going full beans, so it just got there. Basically want to head towards the tree. And then we want to spin this round a little bit. Spin. The crane's causing a few issues weight-wise. Can't lift it up even, we're fully extended, that's the problem. If we put it down, it's drowning there. Put it back a bit. Don't drown, don't drown. No, it's still saying flooded. Thought we'd got that there, but obviously not. So, because we're fully extended here, the problem is we can't do too much while fully extended. I need to lift it high and spin it. But because we're fully extended, it doesn't like it. Let's bring it back this way. Now we're not fully extended, it'll be a bit easier to do. But yeah, we need to get a crane back in place because that's obviously causing issues. Right, now we can swap to it. No longer drowned. Okay, we'll try drive forward and see if we can get there. Let's say we did it with the cable layer, but then we did drown after that. That's the thing. So it's just making sure we stay high. That's going in there. I thought basically the trees would be the benefit here, because the trees kind of tell us how deep it is. If we're next to the trees, it should be fairly safe. Nearly there. Yeah, the trees kind of tell us the depth, that's the thing. Come on. There we go, keep going. We're nearly there. We'll say it's extremely muddy, hence why we're having issues with grip and traction on the floor. I think draining it's going to still make this tough to navigate. But there we go, made it across. We just now need to get the beams in place. And then that'll be job done. I will unstrap them just to make it so a bit more realistic. We need to go on the map, complete the objective ourselves manually. There we go, confirm it. That is the backup pump station done, and the swamp is now being drained. Okay. New missions coming up. We'll have a look at those in a second. Okay. There's only one, I think. Next main mission is organised wood production. That's nice and simple. As far as draining this has gone, you can see the route we took here, and you can see now why we was getting stuck. That mud is really, really bad, but that's now drained out. This bit here is now a little pathway goes a little bit further out. That makes that a little bit better. This way, you can see a proper route this way now that you couldn't see before. There's some debris in here, buildings, cars. This is a mission now that wasn't there before. Find and secure hazardous materials. So hazardous materials we've had previously on the previous DLC map. Generally what happens is you pick them up, they bounce when you put them down in your carrier, they damage themselves, they break off the straps and everything else until they're 0, and you just don't get the bonus, and you deliver them as is, generally at 0%, as I've found so far. So 4 lots of hazardous materials to find and deliver. They're all in different places, so that's going to be fun and games, I'm sure. But that's not yet. That's a new mission that's come up. So at least the pumping station is now up and running. I'm glad that's done. What else is done nearby? Yeah, it's drained quite a decent amount. You can see this pipe now. Obviously, there's one to replace there. But looking at that, maybe we may need a road through here, depending on what else we need to do here. We'll figure it out as we go, I'm sure. Right, main mission first. Oh no, we should do a side mission next. No, we'll do main, because I know we can do this really quickly. Normally we'd do a main mission, side mission, main mission, side mission, but this main mission will be finished really quickly because it needs wood to the sawmill that's already there. So the sawmill is ready to resume production, but it needs raw materials. Deliver logs and establish a delivery route for its finished products. Let's get the cycle moving. Okay, so this mission may change. Bring the logs and I think a convoy afterwards. So for this, we have logs already here. Now, when we loaded in today, this did go a bit mad, and for some reason, logs jumped out of the vehicle. I don't quite know why. So we should really quickly put these back in. This is the DLC log forwarder. We used this in the last stream. We got on with it okay. Obviously, there was some teething problems to work out how it works in terms of these can be tricky to navigate because of the way they move frame-wise. I think we got there with a bit of practice, to be fair. And we have struggled with log forwarders throughout the whole game. We found one we really liked and we're enjoying that one. And obviously we wanted to try the new DLC one, and it's okay. It just took a bit of getting used to the sensitivity of the crane arm more than anything else. But once we were used to sensitivity, I think it was absolutely fine. Compared to some of the others we used, we barely used because of how sensitive they were. Yeah, job done. That's all in. So if we now quickly strap that down, I'd say we loaded in today, and this had, for some reason, an absolute nightmare. Logs was bumping everywhere. One's actually phased through the back end there. Yeah, I don't know what was going on loading in on it, but there we go. So we need 8 for this mission, and as I say, we've already got more than 8 loaded up. We won't need to unload, I don't think. I think it will just take the 8 it needs. We'll see in a second. The downside to this vehicle is obviously our view. So crane camera's there. Is that crane? And this is follow cam. And follow cam, the view is horrendous. Luckily we're not going too far. The tracks do make this a lot better for some tough terrain as well. But it's more the camera that's the problem. We could drive it from inside, which is all well and good unless you're picking up materials, and then this view doesn't really help. And navigating some of the terrain can be tricky when you're in cab view. There we go. So what we'll do is we'll unstrap these, just because I think I don't want to have any issues taking them. We go onto the map now, we can finish this mission and see what it does say about establish a delivery route. So this mission may add on to itself in a second. But let's hand this in. Okay, there it is, infrastructure route. I thought that may be coming, to be fair. So we need to establish a wood production. So we're going from the sawmill to Riverside Tunnel. So, is that Riverside Tunnel, is it? Plot the route. Is that... That's not a sawmill. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Let's just go back to objective. That's changed. Oh, it's a warehouse. So this is storing its finished produce, isn't it? That's what it is. So this is where they store the materials once they've broken down the sawmill, essentially. I think that's the point. Now, this route is an issue. We've been here before to pick up stuff and do bits and pieces nearby. We need to navigate this big hole here. So the only way to do that is... I don't even think bridging it's an option. I think we either cut a route through with the trees. We've got to clear a load of trees here anyway, or we sand it and extend this road here all the way through, which may be our best option really. Because obviously a convoy, we don't know what it's going to be using. It's a wayfarer. It will just get stuck. I think the start point. Where's the end point of this route? Oh no, hang on, that's different. Wow, okay. That wasn't what I was expected. So, it's not sawmill to warehouse. It's warehouse to Riverside Tunnel. So this needs to come up here and then go all the way round. Okay, there's a road most of the way. We also need to put another bridge in over here. I know I'm still doing the route. But that bridge needs putting in. We can't build a bridge. So we're going to have to use one of our bridge layers. Means we need more metal probably for that to actually get another bit to it. The rest of this should be okay. I suppose the only dodgy bit is this bit here. It's a long way it's got to run. Should be fine through there. Yeah, we're going to have to build the road through here. There's no way it's going to make it otherwise. There's no real shortcut it could take either. Although there is a road there. No, that's a quarry, I think. Okay. How are we for sand here? Absolutely fine. So we can do this. I think the best way of filling in this is sand. So all our vehicles for road building are here anyway. So I think we're going to have to extend this road down here and then work out from there how we're going to go about it. There's a road going this way behind us. Don't quite know where that goes. There's something here we haven't found as of yet. But let's do what we need to do then. So we may as well sand first and foremost. As I say, all our vehicles are already here. It shouldn't be too bad to do. It's not an official road, so we can't get the AI to do the sand for us. So we've got to do it ourselves. The only bit that's dodgy is where that water is. Hopefully it's not too deep and we can get sand through it. We'll know more once we get there. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this route to go that way, to be fair. I thought it would come from here. Obviously it caught us out a little bit because it's not coming the way we expected. So we'll have to adapt and adjust. Okay, the only real issue here is where the water is. That's my only real concern. But yeah, if they decide to use a wayfare for this, which they may do, because it's probably quite a lot of stuff, that material that he's moving, then it wouldn't make it without this. I don't want to keep building roads everywhere, but it's the only way of making sure convoys get to where you want them to. That's the thing. And it's called Washout for a reason. So mud and everything is quite prevalent here. That's why I think we built so many roads on this map. Is because obviously a lot of stuff has been washed away, essentially. It's not too bad when you're covered all the time by quarries. It's not too bad. But the aim is we're going to get down here, fill that in with sand, and probably get to around here somewhere. The convoy's going to start here. So we just need to join to this corner here. It's not too far. It's just that bit there that's the problem. And we don't quite know how that's going to go. I don't know how deep it is. We've always bypassed it previously when we had to do other things. Nearby here we just went through the trees. But for a convoy it's not really the right answer. Whereas if we was in control of delivering a load of stuff from there to the end destination, I'd just drive through the forest generally. But hopefully it's not too deep. As long as we don't drown, we'll be fine, and we just need to make a thick layer of sand, which will then asphalt as well. It's not too big a route, it's just a case of that bit there is the problem. If it does get deep, what we'll do, we'll have to back up and do it that way, which is where we lay sand and then go over the sand as we go reversing. I've done that before for land bridges, right, with sand, and it's worked perfectly. That is our other option. Don't think we've got enough down here really. I think it'll be okay. I don't think it's going to be too deep, but I don't know. And you don't know what's underneath it. It could be pure mud. That's the other thing. I'll try and find out though. So we want a nice thick layer because I want to make sure the asphalt's thick. We are drowning ever so slightly there. Right, we need to refill anyway. Stop that. So let's lower this down. Are we not? How are we not? I thought we were in a quarry zone. There we are. We are now. Okay, we may need to go a bit quicker, which means we won't put enough sand down the first time round. At least it will raise us up coming back though, I think. Yeah, this was my concern, was we didn't know how deep this was. And it's looking fairly deep. We flooded the engine. There we go, out. And what I might do, I might go full beam, just get to the other side and see how deep it is fully. And that's too deep. Look at that. We're drowned. Okay, we're not building a road there then. Oh, I suppose we could land bridge it. To be fair, that is a lot deeper than I expected, by a long way. I need to pull it out now, don't I? Thinking about it. It's nearby. Yeah, potentially. The bore on here, I think potentially we can pull it out, although it's going to be very heavy. think it's doable. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be like that. So we may have to do a land bridge, reversing up and doing it that way maybe. Might be our only option, to be fair. What I might also do, we need a bridge. Quickly go, we grab these, and put them in the back, and we can deliver them to our storage once we've pulled out the dumper. The reason being, we need to get another bridge over, and for that we need to make sure we've got beams in stock. We need 3 for a new bridge to one of the bridge layers. We've got 1 in stock already, so this is 2. So essentially this will make the bridge, it saves them to make more beams. And that bridge layer can then buy a new bridge essentially. Because we are going to need one for this route. As it's going over a bridge that doesn't have a middle, essentially. Okay. So we're just going to go and try and see if we can drag out the bay cow. We could reset it, we could bring it back to garage if we needed to, but I think we can pull it out first. We may be able to do it with this, we may need a scout vehicle. That's the only thing. We've already laid sand as well, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, I think we're going to need to do a land bridge to make it through there. It was a lot deeper than I was expecting, to be fair. A lot deeper. Now, if we go there, anchors on. Don't think we're close enough. May not be close enough. Do single point of contact. No, not close enough. Okay. I didn't want to obviously get too close and drown ourselves, because we've got the beams on the back. There we go. Now, I might try reversing out here. We can't tow it using this, obviously. But I wanted to see if we could just pull it out. There was some movement there. We just need the front end to come up ever so slightly, and that will give us what we need, to be fair. Yeah, don't get some dirt. That's anchors. I thought that was off. So we are moving it. Obviously, you've got to be careful not to flick us over. Is that out enough that it won't be drowned anymore? Might be out enough though. Yeah, engine's not drowned. That was all it needed. Just a little bit out was enough. Okay, so we're going to have to do a land bridge the old-fashioned way, which means reversing and laying sand as we go. I think that's going to be our only way, really. Our other bridges from the bridge ladders won't reach, they're not long enough. So other than going through the forest and finding a different route, I think we'll do it this way. It'll take a little bit longer to do just because it's slow progress, but I don't think I want to do another. I don't think there's a real another way, ideally. Although we could cut a load of trees down and do that and go through the forest area, but we can always just do this. It does take a bit longer sometimes, but also it does work. Okay, close the tipper. The aim is just until we get to a point where we can drive over it. That middle bit dropped massively. And yeah, it was a bit of an unknown of how deep this was, to be fair. Definitely found that out in the end. Slowly backwards. And we'll end up flattening this anyway, in due course. With it stuck on the mound of sand. Come on. There we go. The only downside to this is you can get yourself stuck on the sand. There we go. There is a gap somewhere along here. I may have already bypassed it where two quarries join. There's a tiny sliver that isn't connected to a quarry, so we can't refill. And then we can turn around once we get to the far end anyway. I say we've done this before, making bridges over different places like this has always worked for us in the past. Obviously it's not as quick as just laying some sand down for a road. Right, we're not actually in an active quarry now. I think we're kind of like in the middle of two. Yeah, look, there's the gap. So we can't refill as of where we are. But we can there though. And once we're there we can then reverse back, ready to put it down. So anything, once you start loading up the sand, you can then move. And it will carry on, we just can't tip, otherwise it will stop. Yeah, this is a method we've used a few times to make a bridge where we can't do one. On this map you can't do normal bridges, that's the big thing. So you have to find other ways. And normally the bridge ladders you go to, but they wouldn't reach this gap, so it's not worth using those. We're nearly there though. And once you just flatten down and got asphalt on it, you wouldn't even know the difference. That's the thing. Nearly there. Amazing how much sand you need sometimes to fill these holes in. You know, a full load and we barely moved. That's how deep that is though. That's the thing. And this was, I wasn't going to be as deep as it is. I wasn't expecting it to be deep, but nowhere near as far down as it went. The only thing with doing this is obviously getting stuck on the sand. The worst part is we're nearly done with the sanding. That's the thing. Join this bit up, go forward. Because we got stuck on the sand there and got a really weird angle. Right, what I'm thinking maybe is let it refill, but while it's refilling, let's reverse back. It's not going to be deep anymore. And then we can just turn around and carry on as we normally would put sand down. Yeah. We can now just put sand down as we normally would to finish this off, because the actual bit there is done. So that's how we normally do land bridges when we need to. And obviously I'd asphalt normally in a minute anyway. And flatten out normally. It's a lot of sand in that one hole though. That's the hard bit done essentially of this bit. But yeah, that was a bit we kind of knew would be awkward, but we got there in the end. Okay. So we'll just make sure the road connects to where the warehouse is, because if they do use a wayfair, which I've got a feeling they will, this all needs to be asphalted, because it will just spin and it will just get stuck and it'll be a nightmare. We've just got to get to roughly here, really, to be fair. I think that's it. We should be okay. So it's generally, it's the one vehicle that's going to have issues is the wayfarer, so everything we do is to make sure the wayfarer can travel. Because if we don't do that, and the wayfarer selected as the convoy vehicle, it'll be a constant back and forth to try and make it work. I'd rather avoid that where possible. Although this is quite firm here, so actually we may not need to go any further than that, to be fair. This does seem quite firm. And what we'll do, we'll park this nearby, so if it does turn out we have an issue with the convoy and it can't get to that bit of road there, we can always just lay some sand. So we're going to jump into the spreader now, over here. Pioneer. We'll flatten all that sand down. And say everything's already here because we finished off this road first thing today. So it's not like we have to travel far to get all our vehicles. So we do save a massive amount of time because of that. Same as vehicles going down trees. There's 3 areas where it wants us to flatten, to take away the trees. Everything's already nearby. Saves you a massive amount of time when everything's there. It's interesting how it flattens through that hole though. It should be fine, but I'm just curious to how far it spreads it. We don't want to go too low, we don't want the water showing obviously. But yeah, I think there's still more roads to build on the infrastructure mission list as well. But we're definitely not done with roads. But this is definitely I think this map we've built more roads than any other. If we haven't already, we will end up doing so. By the looks of things. So we also need to put a bridge in. This is also we can do an infrastructure route as well, that's the thing. If it was us driving it wouldn't have to do this, we'll just go through the forest, but it's not us, it's an infrastructure, so we're going to make sure the route's fine for them. The only vehicles with a little bit more of a drive is actually the roller, I think. There we go, job done. I didn't realise I was in manual. I didn't want to be in manual, I wanted to be normal. Right, I can stay there for a minute. So asphalt layer now, just asphalt that, which is just here. And then it's just a roller. It's always nice when you've already got all your vehicles nearby. And then you don't have to spend any time getting them to the location because you're already there. Makes life so much easier. I'm glad we extended all this previously now as well. I think that does make a massive difference. If this turns out not to be a wayfair they're going to use, then at least we've done it, it makes life easy. Probably could have means we do it a different way. I think it will be though. Because you're basically the convoy's taking finished materials from the sawmill. That's the thing. And exporting them elsewhere. Not even too big road, we've done a lot bigger than this one. It's not actually that far. Felt like it just because how much sand I went put in the hole, but it's fine. And then we'll have to drive that back to the base just to drop off the steel beams as well. So that isn't too far either. Yeah, nice and simple. No real issues down the asphalt either. Sometimes this can be quite temperamental, but actually this time I wish it was built. Okay, roller, which is just over here where we finished off last time. Not there, is it? It's down here. There's a roller. So we just need to turn this round. Get it over there. Is there a difference in speed if rolling's on or off? No, the speed stays the same. So I generally always leave roller on all the time. When the game first came out, you didn't actually have an on-off switch for the roller. It just was always doing it. You just went over it and it was fine. But I think, even though the option's there, I forget it's there a lot of the time. We can follow our road. Need to see where our truck vehicles for bridges are as well. Obviously we need to move one to the Highland base and start from there, because that's the closest bit to where the bridge needs to go. But there is something behind the warehouse building we haven't been to before. There's definitely a sand quarry there. It may not be anything else either, but there's something there. I need to explore it and see what it is. Hold on the time. I'm still just over an hour left. I think we would have gained a decent percentage today looking at it. Because although we've done quite a lot of infrastructure, it's all mission related, the majority of it anyway. And this was a mission itself. Sawmill was up and running again, that was a mission. Draining the swamp was a mission. What's that, 3 at least we've done? The forest areas may take a bit of time, because I'm assuming we've got to cut trees, take trees out of the area, and also do stumps, potentially. And at some point it may, I think that mission may even then change to actually deliver the buildings that are being put there. Or take materials there for the buildings to actually be built maybe, I don't know. But we know that's what we're clearing 3 areas of space for. It's for new buildings. So I'm interested to see what buildings they are. And what we need to do to enable that growth, essentially. But yeah, I thought this was going to come out of here to go to where it wants to, not the warehouse, but the warehouse makes sense. Oh, sorry about that. Just got off itself yawning. Okay, here we go. This may require 2 passes, a left and a right, I think. Obviously, we want to make sure it's as wide as possible, as always. Although this is wider than the base one you get, the first one, still not quite wide enough, is it? Kind of want one as wide as the Pioneer, ideally. That would be ideal, because then you could do it in one swoop, because it would be the same size as the sand flattener. Kind of went a little bit off there. So we recovered that, I think. We didn't go in the water at least. Okay, we just go back on ourselves, and then that's done, and then we just need to go and do this bridge, and then we can get this route organised. And while the route's going, we'll crack on with the next mission. Though we may have to come back to this if it does add more into this mission. Although don't think this will. I think that the chopping the trees down in areas may. I don't think this will be fine. It's a one-off infrastructure. Basically just exporting the produce from the sawmill. No point coming back on ourselves fully just for that little sliver in the middle there. Right, nearly done with the roller, and then we can do this bridge. We'll have to jump into the Voron just to deliver the steel beams first. Because we don't want to take a bridge from where we've currently got them, just in case we still need to get to them areas. So we'll grab an empty vehicle and give it a new bridge. It's been interesting not being able to build proper bridges in this. You know, every map bar this one, you can build bridges at some point, whether it's basic wooden one, or you then unlock steel beams and make steel ones with a concrete factory. Concrete wide bridges are definitely my favourite, just because it makes life so much easier when crossing and things, but not having a single bridge we can build, we can only lay them down, definitely very different. And not necessarily wrong either, just because we're not used to it, it just feels a bit different. Also, depending on what vehicle they bring, depends if they can make the corners. Hopefully, it's done enough extension on them to worry. There's a little patch there, but I'm not overly worried. Okay, we're going to jump in the Voron. We're going to take the steel beams basically to here. And we're currently over here. In fact, maybe I don't need to go round. We're currently, where are we currently with the steel beams? Here. Yeah, I might be able to just go up there, to be fair. Or I could follow the road. To be safe, we could just follow the road. And I probably should do. To be safe, to be fair. There's no point taking a shortcut in case it messes us up, and I'd rather not mess us up. So we'll deliver these to the nearby base, and then once they're delivered, we'll grab a bridge layer and we'll send it to put a bridge across, and then we can set the infrastructure up, and then off we go. And then we're cutting trees locally here again, by the looks of things. So all these extensions to roads we want you to build does work in our favour long term. And I think that's the big thing I've learned with this game. You've got to think ahead. Thinking just doing what it says for you to do, just without doing other stuff, does hinder you massively. It's always better to plan ahead, think, right, okay, I want a road, but where else can we extend that road to that'll make our life easy? I think at some point we may even require a road where the swamp is, but we'll see. Depends how often it wants us to go back there, doesn't it, really? Through the little watering holes. And then we're going up the hill. Right, nearly back to base. I don't think it matters which bridge now we grab. I think we've now narrowed it down from 5 to 3 bridge layers now. We had 5 because at the start of this map we didn't know that bridges wouldn't carry on with them when you recalled them, and we didn't. It came a little while after that we could actually sell. We can make more bridges ourselves. None of that was obviously explained previously on any previous map, so it's definitely been a learning curve in that respect. So 3 in stock. So what we need to do is over here at the Highland base, because we're heading to Riverside Tunnel this mission. So the end point is the Riverside Tunnel here, and the problem we've got is this here. There is no middle part of the bridge. There's also debris on the other side, actually. I didn't think about that. That's something I have to deal with to get it out of the way as well. The rest of the route seems okay. But yeah, the bridge is missing the middle. And because we can't build a bridge, we need to place a bridge. So if we go Highland Base. I need to get out of that before it let me do what I wanted to do. Highland Base over here. We need to recall a bridge layer. Doesn't matter which one. Just a bridge layer. Out of the 3 we have. Where are they? Where are you? Not that. I never find the things I want first time. There we go, bridge layers. I don't want the rusty one any really than that. So we're going to retain the Vostok nicknamed the Ant. Deploy it at the Highland Base, and then while we're here, we need to purchase a new bridge. There we go, bridge now purchased. So we need to come out of the Highland Base over this bridge, take a left, follow this road round to get to this bridge, and then lay our bridge on there. We do need to look at the debris that's there as well and just see if we can push it out the way, or we actually need to remove it fully. As again, the only downside to this is visibility. We could drive inwards, but again, visibility inside isn't brilliant either, to be fair. We could move the camera further back in settings, but we'd have to then adjust it again when we use different vehicles, so I'd rather just leave it as is. Thanks for the like, much appreciated. We're making good progress though. Obviously this is on track, so it's good in muddy terrain, but obviously on roads it's a little bit slower than other vehicles, but the only vehicle does its job that it does. I'd say we'd normally just build a normal bridge, but because we can't build normal bridges on this map, bridge lands have become the go-to where we need to. They just cost 3 steel beams every time. This is going to be a very long route though by the end of it as well, so make sure it's all ready to rumble. There's the debris the other side of the bridge that I was a little bit concerned by. May need to remove that. Right, I think we're close enough. Let's start putting the bridge out and have a look. I was going to leave a bit of a gap. Reason being, am I on the debris? I think I am, aren't I? You're going to slowly move the bridge towards the hole every time you go on it. So I always try and make sure there's a bit of a gap. Yeah, it's on the debris. What I need to do is put the bridge down and then push it forwards. So still on it. And then hopefully push that debris a little bit further forwards. Or away. I think I'm still on it. There we go. That's what I wanted it. Yeah. So I'll push that a little bit further away from where the bridge is going to be. We are going to need to go over there ourselves, I think. Okay, that should be fine there. I may use this to see if we can move some of that debris out of the way. Just need to make sure the route gets through there, to be fair. Let's head across. A lot more visibility once you actually put the bridge down. I don't want anything stuck on any of this stuff. Obviously this has got tracks, so it's a little bit easier to go over things like that. Although I think we've got one stuck underneath us. Say easier. I think I've got one stuck underneath. Okay, that's an issue. I can just recall this, to be fair. But I think we've got one stuck underneath us. No, we're okay. moving from Minton. It's trying. There we go. You got it. My idea of moving them out the way ended up with us going on top of one. Wasn't ideal. Jennison, good morning, how are you? Apologies if I say that wrong. How are you today? Is it Jennison Dewan? I really do apologise, my pronunciation is really bad. Okay, I think we've cleared enough debris. That makes the route possible now. So, for this main mission, we can now plot this route out. So we're starting off over here. We've now laid the road to going through here. I don't think that is going to use a Wayfarer, you know. I think it's a normal truck. Like the Mule or the Voron. My concern was if it decided to use a Wayfarer, but I don't think it's going to. Which is a pleasant surprise, but obviously the road's there now, so it's done. And these things may have still got stuck anyway, so at least we've dealt with that anyway. It just wasn't something we need to do now. I'm just going to make this corner a little bit easier. But always think about how their turning is going to go. If they're going too fast, they can be really tricky to make corners. Right, we want to go through here. We're basically heading towards the Highland base. It's quite a long way, this infrastructure route by the end of it. I say infrastructure, I mean convoy route. Okay. Through here, we need to watch out for these tyres at the end here. Now, there's a possibility it might get stuck there. It may not have made the corner wide enough potentially. We shall see. And then over our road through the swamp. There is another bit that I'm a little bit concerned by. We won't really know until they're doing it. And that's over this next bridge. Or the lead up to it and over. Yeah, this convoy's gone a very long way. Luckily, it's all road. Because we've done all the roads for it. So, it will hopefully make it so it doesn't take as long. Through the sand quarry. And then we're here at the bridge. So this is the bit I was a little bit concerned about. I think we'll be okay. It's just if we get bounces around and stuff. And then coming out of here, again, should be absolutely fine. And this will take us, so the Highland base is up that hill there, we want to ignore that. It's a really long route really, compared to others we've done. Okay, and over the bridge. And should we line up as straight as we can with the bridge we've laid down, just to make sure the wheels are either side of it. That's the only thing with that. I'm hoping them barrels there don't cause us any issues. If they do, we'll have to come back and push them, but hopefully they're out the way enough. And they keep coming down, and then we're there. I'm hoping that works. It's a very long route. We'll leave it to it and hope that's okay. We've done as much as we can prep-wise for it, so I think it should be okay. So we've got to move on to a different objective. Clear the forested areas for new construction is our next port of call. There's a red warning count there, but I don't know what for. Unable to send our vehicle. Why not? I don't know why it's saying unable to send it, because they are sending them. I've not blocked anything. So we've 3 areas to clear here. One here. One over here. And where's the other one? And one there. So we may as well start this one first. Head to that one and then this one. And we already have the crayfish nearby. So we're going to jump in the crayfish. I don't really want to change mission because I want to be able to see when that route's complete, but actually I think we may have to, just so we know where the areas are. We'll quickly have a quick read of the blurb for this one. This is why I miss Kelly. We need Kelly back. The local authorities have big plans of expanding the oil industry in nearby settlements. They've asked for help clearing construction sites near the sawmill. Go to the areas and clear away trees and debris. Don't worry, they reward you handsomely. So we're doing this one down here first. Easy enough to get to. Obviously all the roads there and everything now, so all that's easy to get to. So we did park up in a load of tree stumps here. I think we do that one first because then we can come back kind of in a circuit to the others. Debris worries me. Is there going to be debris we haven't seen inside the areas? It's not just trees maybe. But we're looking out for convoy complete as well to come up on screen. Or it to go red, say convoy stuck. One of the two. Hopefully the first, not the latter. Okay, there is a dirt road to the left here. I think will take us where we need to go. We have already got a stump grinder nearby as well and the vehicle to pick up trees, although we'll try and place them out of the area because that way we don't necessarily have to move them immediately. Now my only concern is if it's going to want us to bring materials here, we're going to need a lot more trees down than what it's sending us. Well, I don't know actually, we made it through okay. Right, our first tree is there. Now it's just a place of where we place these out of the zone and out the way till we really need to move them out the way, anywhere else. So that tree there will be knocked down, that's fine. Just trying to think where the best place. Probably here is fine. As long as it's outside the zone, it's out of our way for the time being. And if we need to collect them, we can. There's a vehicle nearby to do exactly that. I do try and place trees all together. I'm going to get rid of this one, just whack this as well. We do try and place them all together where possible. Yeah, this will give us a little bit more access. So we are going to need to get rid of stumps as well. The arrow's still there for the stump, so we are going to need to get rid of that. Let's knock that one down. Okay. There's quite a few here to clear by the looks of it. I think what we do, we go to this right hand side first. We'll do everything we can on this right side, chucking them outside the zone where possible. Still think the crayfish is the best for this job. A lot better than the tractor unit we just added. It just does the job so well. But yeah, hopefully I didn't murder your name too much, Jemison. My pronunciation in a lot of things is not brilliant, I hate to say. There's a big tree there. My concern is if we chop that, it's going to really mess up moving it. I've had it before, some trees just start falling down, you can't lift them up, they're too heavy. I'm feeling that tree's one of those. Well, that one there was getting stuck as well, to be fair. But yeah, we're just trying to do piles where possible of trees. Of logs, I should say. Just easier when you go to pick them up if they're like in the same rough area as each other. Right, what about this big tree here? See, that big tree doesn't say to come down. Obviously the concern with that is going to be in the way. Although stump grinder will get rid of it, to be fair. But yeah, it won't be in the way, we just use stump grinder. This one's too heavy, doesn't like it. Can't lift it up very easily anyway. You get this occasionally with some of the trees, they're just a nightmare to lift. I always thought it was a weight issue, to be fair. I know it's getting stuck on the stump. I can't do anything with it. Just trying to get it to manoeuvre just outside the area, really. Come on. Going to leave it there, which is good. Whoa! Stop! Don't. Seriously? So that tree that was really heavy decided to have a nightmare on its own, spun us round, and made us fall over. We do have a crane nearby, so it's not the end of the world, it's just annoying. That was all because that one heavy tree wouldn't be lifted up. Now the convoy did complete its mission. That is now done, but there is something else here. That convoy will continue. I don't know if we still get rewards for it. We do. So 6,420 XP and 3,450 credits, money, whatever you want to call it, will still be coming while it's carrying on. It won't stop until it breaks down, and the rewards are done, to be fair. So new missions have gone on now, 2 more main missions. Provide resources to the repair shop. We have already built a road, so it was actually going to tell us to build a road here. We've already done it. It's always handy when you've done little bits like that. We need 5 steel beams, 5 logs, 5 concrete slabs. Now, we haven't made concrete slabs as of yet. I don't think we've even got the concrete slabs to be up and running. We may do. Let's have a look at that in a second. And head to the steel pipe facility over here. So that needs to be up and running as well. We haven't got that up and running yet. We need power by the looks of things. But we need to reach that location. So, oil treatment plant. Where is the concrete plant? Is it saying we need concrete slabs? I don't think there is one. If there is, I've not seen it. Steel pipe facility there. Oil treatment plant. Forest base. Logistics terminal. Beams. I don't think there's a concrete plant. If there is one, we've not found it yet. And we need 5. Is it 5? Yeah, 5 concrete slabs. So unless there are concrete slabs laying around loose, and that is a possibility. Thanks for the like, very much appreciated. That is a possibility. If there's no concrete slab, what we need to do is go down to the construction depot and buy the slabs, which is easily done. It's not a big deal. And then everything's in place for us to actually travel there. So that's something we may need to do. But we'll focus on the mission we're doing now, which is these forest areas we're clearing. We just need to come and lift ourselves up. So for some reason, that had a nightmare of its own and decided it wasn't going to play ball anymore. I thought I had a crane nearby, but actually I don't. I wonder if I can just lift up with this. All we're going to do is tip it back on its wheels, which I don't think is going to be too bad. We'll quickly try this, otherwise I'll bring the crane across. May be able to do it with this though. We shut the cargo. Yeah, if that route's complete mission-wise for us, it will carry on. Until we get stuck. But we're just quite happy to have all the rewards from it. To be fair, we don't know what these new DLC maps are going to entail later on when they come out in March, so I'd rather have the money and stuff ready to go. I don't know if they're going to increase player level. I would hope they do, because otherwise at the minute any XP is pointless. Since we max level, there's been no need for any of it. But yet every mission still has it. But there's no way, if you've done every mission in the game, there's no way you wouldn't have enough XP by now. So I don't quite know why it still has on missions, unless of course it's just in case you haven't maxed out maybe. But to get to the DLC and not maxed out, means you've barely done anything. Jake man, good morning, how are you? They're scattered around the map, are they? I kind of thought they may be. It'd be unusual for them to try and get you to do something that you haven't got the ability to obtain. But we can just go and buy them too. That's the thing. Right, my thinking here may not work. We may need to go and grab a crane, but I just thought we'd try this. Basically just going to try and nudge it back on its wheels. That's my thinking. Close that. Can't really see what I'm doing with it. There we go. Yeah, it may not be strong enough for what I'm thinking. But it was because of the log that we fell over. Nearly did it, to be fair. But yeah, so we couldn't lift the log, and when we kind of processed the heavy log, it then just decided to spin us round, as it does. If it weren't for the boom being out, I think this would go back on its wheels really easily. Nearly there. Ah, it's close to be back on its wheels. All we're going to do is get up enough to it for the engine to start, and then it's fine. I'd say it's nearly there. May just be able to grab a crane, I think. I think we need crane. It was a good idea, I think, to try, but I think a crane is our only real option now. Or actually, before we try a crane, can we just push a wheel? I don't know if we'll have enough power. Probably not, actually. So maybe we can push the wheels enough. It's because the boom's out. If the boom wasn't out, I think we'd do this easily. Power there, is there? Okay. We will quickly grab a crane. There is a big crane up here. We'll just drive it down. It's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. It happens. Obviously, we didn't force it to happen. It was a weird thing happened with the tree, and it kind of glitched on us and forced us to spin round, which in turn made us fall over. But it is what it is. We'll get the crane over there. Get back up and running and carry on clearing the trees. You get these moments occasionally where things go like that. I thought the Voron was nearby, but it's not, because we took the beams, didn't we, back to make the bridge. But yeah, I did wonder if they'd be around the map somewhere loose and we'd just find them. Or we just buy them. Depending if we can spot them easily, we may just end up buying them. It's only, I think it's 5, is it? We've always got plenty of money, that's the thing. At this point in the game, money's not an issue. We own one of every vehicle near enough. I think there's 1 or 2 tiny vehicles we don't own, but they are tiny. So we don't use them. But other than that, we own everything else, so... And other than money for the DLC vehicles that are coming, it's not a big deal just to buy them. We try not to as much as possible, but if there's no slab facility, it makes sense. Either that or we just haven't found it. But by the sounds of it, they're scattered, so there isn't one and we just need to do it. Watch out for the convoy, because that will just ram us. The only problem with convoys is do not wait for anyone. Navigate through the stumps. Okay, let's get the crayfish back on its wheels. We've never really tipped the crayfish previously, I don't think. It's always been really stable, that's why it was a bit weird what happened. say, it just seems a bit glitchy as one of the trees. It's one of those things. Right, let's get it back up on its wheels. Okay, what is that connected to? Not that one. I think that's the tree it's trying to... Yeah, we don't want that. There we go. That's what we want. Glitched out a bit. Yeah, it was just a bit weird, but it's all good. Luckily we had a crane nearby, so it's not the end of the world. It's only really bad when you don't have a crane. It's different again. When you don't have a crane nearby, it's a little bit frustrating. Stay where you are. Right, just to get this out of the way a little bit. By the end of this, we're actually building a road just by driving up and down. But yeah, there we go. Back to normal. We've already got the vehicle here to collect the logs at least. That's the job already done. Right, I need to move the crane round to the front. But yeah, weird log caused the issue, but it's solved. It's done. Right, trees. Again, we'll try and put the logs that once we process the tree down outside the zone. It just saves time and we're moving second time. We can already put them outside the zone. And we have got our log carrier here to come and pick them up as well. We now know we need 5 anyway for the other mission to be delivered. So no matter what, we need at least 5 in our carrier. But we'll probably try and pick all of them up, to be fair. It's quite a large area we're clearing, to be fair. So I'm not sure what the building is going to end up here. I wonder how many materials we're going to need to bring over. Thank you for the like, Lord, much appreciated. Because that's the big thing, is if it's a big building, does that mean we've got to bring lots of materials over? So we might still need a lot more metal yet, although we need 5 beams, don't we, anyway. So that's something we do need to do. No, I'm going to reach up here. Go green for me, or will it not? Right, it's not liking it. Sometimes you just need to drive up to it rather than use the boom itself. Right, these on the edge, do they need doing, or are they fine? I think the stump grinder is going to destroy a few of these. The big ones that aren't showing up as cuttable. I think the stump grinder will end up grinding them down. This big one to our left, we can't cut it down. So I think that'll be grinded instead. Right, there's a few trees here. You've seen some of the new DLC games, have you? Oh, okay. I try and stay away from things because I don't want anything spoiled. So I generally don't watch anything to be that could potentially give it away. But yeah, I'm hoping it's good. I say I'm just hoping they support this long term. That's the thing. Because there's still so much more I think they can add, and the fact they're bringing in a wrecking ball is going to be interesting. I think that's ended up in the zone a little bit more than I wanted it to be. This tree here, see if we can knock it down. There we go. Like that. We'll go a little bit more forward. There we go. Try not to have the trees end up in the zone. So we'll try and make sure they're out of it. It's a little bit in, but I don't think it's going to affect anything because it's not telling us we've got to get rid of them. I'm just going to get rid of this one. I don't mind getting the ones around the area down as well, so it creates a bit more space around the edge. It's always worth doing it while we're here. I don't know if we're going to need to move them out of the space before it says the area is complete. I'm not sure. We'll probably end up picking them up anyway. So again, this one's heavy. It won't let us pick it up. Every now and then you get a tree like this, and this is what glitched us out a minute ago and made us roll. Just going to process it quickly. But it was one of these that did it, one that you can't pick up. We didn't like it. Okay, it didn't make us roll over that time at least. We are going to need to pick these up, otherwise when we do the stump grinding, potentially we're going to grind them and destroy them. So it's definitely worth picking them up if you can. Right, there's one more on the edge over here. There we go. I do normally try and get them in one pile, but it's not quite worked. That's why I prefer to do a few trees next to each other if possible, because then you can just make a pile of the logs, and when picking them up it just makes life a little bit easier, I find. Right, that's kind of this left hand side done. Let's have a look. So I can see the debris now. So we did say there was debris here, and it is. Vehicles and stuff that have been dumped here. We weren't too sure what debris meant, to be fair. Now it makes sense. So it won't just be trees we're clearing, there's other stuff as well. You have the server pack. What's a server pack? What do you mean by that? What do you mean your own server for multiplayer, do you mean? Have you tried many of the mod maps, Jake? Do you use any of them that you'd recommend? Because obviously once we finish the DLC, and we'll be done before the March release, I'm pretty sure. We'll probably have a look at some on the mod maps, but any suggestions are welcome. I don't quite know what they're going to be like. Oh, on Steam. Okay, so we're on PS5, so I don't know what that is. To be fair, on PS5. Oh, you've not tried them. Okay. Yeah, we'll give a few a go and just see what they're like, really. If they're anything like, I don't know what the community itself is. I don't generally do multiplayer on anything. We try not to read too much, I don't spoil anything myself. So I don't quite know what the community's like, but you know, going by Farming Simulator and their modding community, which is incredible. Potentially this one could be too, I don't know. If it is, then we could be in some really good maps. Right, we'll move forward and put this with the pile of others we just done. But yeah, we read it and said it did say debris, clear the trees and debris, and we hadn't actually seen any debris in these areas. But now when we're removing the trees, we can see there's quite a bit of it. Now we need metal beams anyway, so it might be worth grabbing the metal here and taking it straight to make beams, because we need some for another mission anyway. So maybe that's something to do with the debris that's here. The stuff we can recycle. Maybe that's a good shout to do. Obviously we just got to be able to pick it up. But we've got we've got a crane nearby. We could always get the heavy loader here and just load that up with everything. Oh, you can crane. Okay. You want to wait to see what the game brings first. Oh, that's good. Clean the maps. That's the thing. There's we've 100% every map. We're just on the final map for the DLC. But we can always go back and do stuff on the map still. There's always things that can be done. That's the thing. You know, getting rid of all the metal that's laying around can be done fairly easily. Getting rid of all the sellables, all the tyres and things. There's always something you can do more of if you wanted to. That's the thing. It's just down to how much you want to do, isn't it, really? But that's what I really like, is everything's different. You know, the amount of roads you've built in this map alone has been incredible. There's still more to do according to the infrastructure missions, but someone else may not build half as many. That's the thing. Toys, yeah, we're not gonna. Wasn't planning to do platinum because I didn't really want to bother collecting all the toys. But part of me does want to see them all, and we have found a couple on some of the maps. But yeah, part of me wants to see them all at least. And I know that's a requirement for what the platinum is, to collect all the toys and sell them, I think, as well. Whereas I'd be a bit loath to sell them. I don't like selling things in any game really until I have to. So selling the toys, I don't really want to, but it's part of what part of the platinum. I won't have a choice. Pain in the butt, yeah, that was my concern. Was it just be annoying and frustrating? Right, any clear? So none of these big ones here can be cleared. So let's head down here. There's a couple down here to do. A bit of a slope there, isn't it? Stump grind is going to be interesting, trying to avoid vehicles and debris and stuff. I think it'll be manageable, it'll just be annoying if anything. Try and process outside the zone. I think we'll have to run around and pick up a load of logs. What we don't want is to then build a building here and all the logs be in the way and cause issues and glitch anything out. So we do want to collect the logs where possible, I think. Plus we need some anyway, mission related. Well, let me do this from here, or is it not? Right. I wonder if it would. And we're getting there with the trees though. So we've still got stumps to do as well. Right hand side, and then we'll go down the middle as well. Place this near the other one over here. Out the way them. But yeah, I can imagine them being really frustrating in the end to get. Thing is, if I collect them all, I wouldn't want to sell them. I'd want to be able to, you know, see them. That's the thing, but the platinum trophy requires you to sell them all. Around the corner, there we go. A few more trees here. I think the big ones will end up grinding down, but can't be cut. I think they will end up being grinded. I'm trying to see where to place this. There's some more nearby to get rid of, so I'm just thinking let's do it just over here, out the way. And we can place the other ones here as well. We're going green? Right. We need to manoeuvre a bit before I go green then. The one that's outside is picking up, we don't actually need to take down. This one I do. Although it's going to fall down, I think. Are we going to fall down or are we good? No, we're cutting it. I thought it was just going to fall over then for a minute. But yeah, I'm curious to what buildings are going to end up going here and what we need to contribute towards that. Okay. A few more still to do here, by the looks of things. It's nice when you can just set the crayfish down in one position and cut a load around you and place them out and stuff like that. It's so much easier than moving around constantly. One of the things I didn't like about the tractor unit that they added in cut trees, because you're constantly having to move. All in a pile on one base at first and sold them for the trophy. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm in two minds. I don't think we'll go for platinum. I don't like doing boring collectibles if I don't have to. I like doing them during the normal gameplay. I find them naturally brilliant. But then running around just for them, I find really boring. And I think people who watch find it boring too. That's the thing. Whereas if you find them naturally throughout your playthrough, I don't think it's that big a deal. And we have found a few, to be fair. Okay, there's one more I think still need to clear here. Getting that. Middle bit I think is the next bit to do, really. But yeah, 3 in one place here. Massive little 4. Okay, we'll head to the middle next. And then we'll stump grind the stumps and see where we are then with the debris and stuff after that. As I say, if we can use it to recycle, I think it might be worth doing. At least just load up the heavy loader maybe. We don't even need to take it immediately, but at least have it loaded with the crane and things. I don't think that'd be a bad idea, to be fair. Okay. Past these stumps. So a tree just there to do. I think there's one further ahead and then back in the middle. I left the middle for last because I knew we'd have to manoeuvre around a lot more and take the actual logs elsewhere essentially. It's amazing how clear an area looks when you get into it like this. The amount of trees that were here, how foresty it looked. And then I know we're obviously taking the trees down, but it's amazing how it does change. It's just the ground as well. The more you drive on it, the more it gets damaged. So many little details that I think a lot of games could do better with adding in. You know, ground deformation definitely. It's nice to see how you affect the ground. We had it in Assassin's Creed though with the snow and stuff in Valhalla. See how your footprints made a mark and stuff. Well, I'm actually running out of time. We've got about 20 minutes left. I'd like to at least get one area clear if we can before we're out of time for today. For those that haven't checked the schedule, we are live again tomorrow morning. 8:30 AM GMT until 12 PM GMT, and tomorrow we're back in Kingdom Come Deliverance after beginning it yesterday after we won the vote for the next main live stream game. That will continue tomorrow. RoadCraft is back on Thursday morning, so we've still got plenty of streaming ahead this week, and I'm still working on sort of content, trying not to fall asleep, which is proving tricky. Okay, the only thing as well, it looks like there's loads of trees still to do, but actually some of them arrows are stumps, not trees. What I might do is bring the stump grinder in now and we can clear a bit more just to see what trees are left. There's a couple in the middle. It's not grab that tree. Why is that? Oh, it's because we've already done it. It went green though, didn't it? Oh, I think actually we may have, yeah, it is on wood. It didn't look like it was. It looked like we had an invisible tree for a minute. Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, I think the stump grinder could clear some of these arrows away, because currently it's a bit tricky to see trees from arrows, especially in that middle part. So we'll quickly clear some arrows out of the way with the stump grinder, and then we'll see what we've got left. I think there's probably one or two still to cut down. We need the stump grinder in here anyway. So stump grinder is over here. Yeah. We use this one because the smaller one we didn't think would get through the water area before we put a road properly there. This one's not too bad though, I don't mind this one. I think out of the two, I don't know which one I prefer actually, stump grinder wise out of the two. I think this one's a little bit easier to manoeuvre. The other one is quite low down, and the top part, the top metal part of the actual mulcher, the blade essentially, can get stuck on trees because it's too low sometimes. As this, you don't have that issue. So I don't really know what one's better. I think stats wise the kite is better, but this one performs just as well, to be fair. I think there's some vehicles it doesn't really matter which one you use, and the stats don't always mean it's a lot better. You know, Voron, the Mule, Trailblazer, they're all basically the same, bar 1 point in stability. But the Mule has one less, whereas the Voron and the Trailblazer are both the same. But there's no real difference in them. They all carry the same amount, they all drive roughly the same. So it's not that big a deal between the three of them, to be fair, in terms of which one you actually use. I generally just go for the one that's closer to where we're going, or picking up from. It makes life a bit easier. Right, here we go. Made the entrance bit a little bit muddy here. So any stumps we need to get rid of. This one dead ahead. I'm assuming the big trees we are knocking down, but I don't know for sure. I end up grinding them potentially. Sometimes it will just turn the grinder off though. We shall see. I call it a grinder, it's actually a mulcher. Yeah, it's turned us off, so we can't actually cut that one according to that. Yeah, so we can't do anything with that tree. Some of these big trees are staying by looks of things. There's no arrow on them, admittedly. But if they disappear randomly when the building work starts here, that's going to be disappointing. Because I know it's saving us time and we're not doing them, but we're here cutting down trees anyway. I think it's because they're too thick, we wouldn't be able to lift them. Then if that's the case, they should add in a really heavy duty tree cutter, essentially. They couldn't cut the really big ones. I've got a feeling when the building's placed down, they'll just disappear. There's a few more stumps here on the right hand side. That's nice to get rid of them yellow triangles, to be fair. When you know you're actually making progress when you can't see them anymore. Yeah, there's a lot of big trees just left here. That's what I didn't want to do. I just broke the log. It's not the end of the world. It's gonna be, I think there's going to be plenty of logs around. That's why I kind of want to pick the logs up. Just be very careful where this is in terms of where logs are. It's so easy to destroy a log. Potentially we need to deliver somewhere. Yeah, I think there's still 1 or 2 trees to do. Right past that. It might be the angle at. There we go. Big stump here as well. And then we should be able to tell what trees are left in the middle as well to do, hopefully. There's 2 trees here by the looks of things. annoying that he turns himself off occasionally. Stop us mulching the place we shouldn't be doing. Right, we're getting that. Some of these loose trees we want to just knock down out of the way. We won't have to mulch them, but we can knock them down to clear the area. There you go. And then they'll just disappear. It's nice to open it up so we can see more. Right, got these stumps here, and then we'll jump back in the crayfish to continue on the middle area, I think. We probably won't get this done today, I don't think. Not this area, maybe. I don't know, maybe. We've got about 10 minutes left. Depends if it wants us to remove all the metal as well. There's no arrows on the metal as of yet, although it did say that would be the case in the mission blurb. There's no arrows on them as of yet, so maybe we're not taking metal out. I will be surprised if we don't, though, to be fair. So let's jump in the crayfish. I kind of lost quite a little bit there. I'm getting to that point of drowsiness again, that's the thing. So we need to head more to the left. A lot of these big trees are staying, which is weird. But we can't change that, so let's just focus on what we can change. There we go. Thank you for the like, viewers, much appreciated. I'd like to get this area done before we run out of time, but I'm not sure. I don't think there's many more to cut down, to be fair. Why are you not going out? Trying to put it with the others over there. The boom didn't like taking out, though. A few stumps to do here. Tree-wise, I think there's two in the middle there, and that may be it. There's the one to the right, potentially. Yeah, there's two over here. Who, I don't know where we're going to dump these ones really, to be an easier place. I have to drive them a little bit over there on the edge. I think did we not have some over this outside edge? I don't think we did. Oh yeah, we did. There we go. There's a good pile there. I'm looking forward to some more Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's so realistic. It's mad how realistic it is. Okay, one more to go just here. Let's see, we've missed one down our starting place or stump. I think it's a tree, I'm not sure. Right. Sorry, next one. Drowsiness is kicking in. This is what I mean. This is now my afternoons where I'm just not with it, falling asleep. I need it to change. The thing is, the surgery we're due to have in March won't change the drowsiness. Obviously, the opioids don't help. That's the thing. Is there a tree here or is it a stump? It's a tree. Okay, we'll quickly grab this one. I think then that's all the trees that we're cutting down cut, I believe. Then we'll just clear the stumps that's remaining and then we're maybe out of time. We shall see. But I think this is the last one that's been cut down anyway. Right, starting point was over here, so we should have a pile. Yeah. Chucking that pile there. I will drive this out of the area because I don't know what happens when we clear the area fully. It may be stuff inside, it may get lost or it may glitch. Because of that, it will leave the area. So we're not inside the yellow box essentially. We'll put it in more. Swash a few more trees. Open up the entrance way a little bit. We don't know what it's going to need us to do once we've cleared the area. I've got a feeling it'll be deliver bits with materials and things. It sounds the most likely in my mind. But we may have to clear all three areas first before we actually done that. Eventually. Right, done there. It seems weird though to leave all the big trees there and give it all the smaller ones. There must be a reason for it. I don't cancel, I'm trying to mulch the thing. It doesn't want me mulching the big tree, but I need to mulch the stump in front of it. There we go, got it now. Finally got it. That was awkward. Okay, what's left? There's a couple more over there. And one over there. I want to see what it does, whether we're going to lose all the debris and trees or it changes the debris and stuff. It says clear the area of objects. I would assume the metal debris and something staying around will be something we need to remove. She's not got arrows on it, which is unusual. Okay, I think last one. Can't turn because that car there. There we go. That's this area done then. I wasn't sure what it would do, but all it's done is just say area complete, the yellow box is gone. As you can see, there's still some few trees there. Definitely a lot more of an open space now. So there's still a lot of trees there that it won't allow us to do. Unfortunately, we are out of time today. I think we've done quite well though. We've done quite a bit today. It's nice when you actually know you've completed quite a bit. We started off by finishing this road along here from the two-way tunnel to the sawmill. That's the first thing we did today, including these little bits here as well. And after that road was fully complete, after extending it as well, we came up. What did we do after that? Came up here to do something. What did we actually do after that? Oh, we had to. Oh, we went and got the backup pump station up and running. We found a way. There's two different ways across. One with the cable, so we had electricity. Although it's saying it hasn't got power. Although we laid cables. How does that work? It does have power. I don't quite what means it has no power then. Unless you had the power cut, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's weird. Because that symbol there normally states you still need to put power to it. It's red. I don't know about that. We'll figure that one out. Yeah, not sure. But that's we did that, so that's now drained. That's what second swamp as well now. And then we built another road coming along here for convoy. This was to fill in the big gap here that was full of water. And that convoy is currently running all the way down here past the Highland base to the Riverside Tunnel. And what else did we do? I think that was about it. Until now, obviously, we're clearing one of the 3 areas that need clearing for new buildings as well. I think that's everything. We'll have a look at our percentage as we go out and see where we're at with the percentage done. I think we started on 51%. I think. I don't know for sure. Because for some reason I didn't pay attention to it this morning. Or not enough attention anyway. But let's see. We do know the hours this tells you've played for is wrong, because I worked out 60 of 3.5 hour streams is a lot more hours than what it tells me. So we have 58% complete on Washout, 13 of 24 infrastructure, 17 of 32 main objectives, 8 of 11 side, and we're second part of the 3 parts of the story of the map. But yeah, making progress. That bottom bit now is a bit more unshaded, less fog of war there. Just got northwest to do to make sure there's nothing else there as well. But that is us for today. A massive thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the comments, the views, and the conversation. As I say, we're back tomorrow morning with more Kingdom Come Deliverance, and RoadCraft is back Thursday morning as well. Hopefully, we can get a lot more done in Washout. But a massive thank you guys. I hope you have enjoyed the rest of your day. Jake, pleasure. Thank you for coming by. Much appreciated. As I said, if you've played any of the modded maps and you think they're cool, let us know either in the comments or on Discord or wherever. Just let us know, and we can add it to our list of mod maps to look at once we finish the DLC. So do let me know if you find anything interesting. That is it. Have a good rest of your day, everyone, and we'll see you in a live stream very soon. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.